You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent Austen Show.
Everbank Stadium, look at that thing. We've been watching this all week. Get ready for the Luke Combs concert. I mean, what a production that is. Look at the 18-wheelers inside the stadium. Is that what they are? Are those trucks?
Yeah, those are trucks, Brent.
Where are they getting the trucks inside the stadium?
Helicopter. Gonna fly those bad boys right in.
Seriously, where are they? They usually have to set up on that east side.
They got monster trucks in there. I'm sure there's a way.
Yeah, that's a good point. So which way? They must take out the cool zone area.
Yeah,
in the south end zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. They do get the monster trucks.
Monster
that's
trucks
where the monster trucks come out of, I think, that south end zone area.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense.
And so that's where the tractor trailers might come in. Okay. I always say this, this, and look at that, the staging is huge. I mean, what a production that is. I mean, how much cost before you even sell a ticket is involved in putting on a concert?
Yeah, I mean, it's not cheap. Let's be honest here. The lighting and all the people that are required to make this thing run, but at the same time, I haven't seen how much a Luke Combs ticket is going for, but I assume it's probably pretty pricey.
Yeah, I forget what they were when they came out. They came out so long ago, and we're going Saturday night. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, they were reasonable, but they weren't $10.
Yeah.
I think somebody said you can get in right now for like $40 on some of the secondary sites.
Just get in like the bud zone or actually get into like a seat?
I think a seat.
Okay, I got you.
I think a seat. Obviously, anything behind the stage. I don't think it doesn't look like
the
they're going to utilize behind the stage.
Yeah, the seats behind the stage.
Well, some of those stages open up and you can go to both sides, but that's not the way this one is. That would be in the middle of the field, I would assume, if that was the case. Mm-hmm. But what I was saying is, to me, one of the things about the new stadium and these proposals is exactly what those tractor trailers are trying to do. Hey, look, I should wear my sunglasses today. I forgot to take them off. If you go to like Indianapolis, if you go to the Atlanta, these new stadiums, I mean, those tractor trailers are driving through like where you would walk into the locker room.
No, for sure, and it makes things a lot easier. You probably get some big name. I mean, you get Taylor Swift then. Like with this new stadium coming in, Brent. I mean, we're talking Taylor Swift. We're talking Kanye West.
No, that's like legit.
I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Like
Taylor Swift. I think they were actually like in the mix for Taylor Swift when she went to Tampa last year. I think Tampa was the show, 3 shows. Okay. And I think she's going to Miami later this year because my sister's like, hey, can you get tickets? Yeah, let me just call somebody. I think they will get shows like that. And obviously, who knows the next time Taylor Swift's going to go on tour. It would be 5, 6, 7 years down the road. But whether it's a Beyonce or Taylor Swift or those kind of shows.
The real heavy hitters.
Which bring in millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. For obviously the city and everything else. So stadium deal, maybe a couple weeks away.
Let's go.
What do we know? When will it happen? It's coming up, I think, at least the next stage of that. So that will be cool. Duval TV, I'm extremely excited for the new stadium. Yeah, we'll get a draft one day and Super Bowl again. I don't know about Super Bowl. Now, it's hard to say no because the city's going to get built up and all that stuff. But I don't really think the city of Jacksonville, the Jags, have any interest in the Super Bowl. Like, their mind's not even there. Nah, I just don't think it's there.
I think it brings a lot of money in?
Yeah, but I just don't think it's on their radar. I think before it will be like draft. I think it's the national championship game or the college football playoff. I think it's events like that. And then maybe we eventually get down the road to revisit the idea of a Super Bowl. But I don't think that's even – that used to get asked all the time when I first got here because the Jags had it in 2005. And it was like every year we would do a Super Bowl special and the news department would be like, hey, ask Wayne Weaver or Shad Khan, is he interested in the Super Bowl? Interested in the Super Bowl? And I think there was one year where they're like, yeah, of course, like said something like that. And then it was like, oh, Jags want to get the Super Bowl. And then it quickly became, no, it's not really on our radar. I think Mark Lamping squashed that. It's like, it's not on the radar. We're not even going to think about it until we do, XYZ first. So again, hard to say in 2035 or 2040, which, by the way, is not as far off as it sounds, of the Jags being in the Super Bowl mix again. But who would have thought Vegas would have a football team and be hosting Super Bowls 10 years ago or 15 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So a lot can obviously change. But Hey, we get it rolling here. Brent Austen Show on a Thursday. Big day coming up tomorrow. We'll be down at Best Bet St. Augustine. Hopefully, you're going to be a part of it. Are you coming or not? Somebody just asked, hey, you got a crowd going tomorrow? Yeah, I don't know how many. 300, 3,000, 3 million?
Three's
how
a
many
crowd,
people?
Brent.
How many people are coming down? Steph's birthday party. If you really want to be nice to her, you'll come down. That's it. Steph's not going to be there. But you can wish her happy birthday.
Are the kids coming since they're seniors, or are they actually going to go to school a little bit?
They actually, I think, are going to school tomorrow.
Bummer. On a Friday? Come on, Brent.
They did stop by the last time we were down there, didn't they? They had school off that day.
Saw them at the table, yeah.
They were there.
Yeah.
They grow up fast.
They do.
Free brunch, of course, while supplies last, while the eggs and bacon and whatever else is served at brunch last. All right, so I got, we'll get into sports in just a minute. I'm driving downtown yesterday. Why was I downtown yesterday? Oh, we were at 1937.
Oh, gotcha.
And well, maybe it wasn't yesterday now that I think about it. Where were we the other day? What was that yesterday? Wednesday?
Yesterday. I mean, we were at UNF.
Yeah, maybe it was
at the pickleball court.
No, I can't remember why.
Were you downtown for the Iceman game? You said you went to the Iceman game a little bit.
Yeah, that was later.
Hey, let me go and tell you what you did in your days here.
Actually, it might have been last night.
Okay.
It was a long day yesterday. And a hot one. Sunny.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm driving downtown. I see this person crossing the street, and it's a woman. Maybe going to an event, or maybe it was coming out of her day of work.
Sure,
I don't even know.
Okay,
and so she's got heels on. Okay, and I mean she's dressed up.
Okay,
yeah, but not like going to prom, wedding dressed up, but she's like dressed up.
Can you get an age here? Like, I mean, like a businesswoman, professional businesswoman, college.
No, yeah, perfect. Like,
okay, not going to a dance.
Not going to a dance. Not going to not a college kid, anything like that.
Okay.
And she got heels on. It goes through my mind. I'm like, why in the world do women wear heels?
To be taller.
Is that simply it?
I mean,
because it's got to be one of the most uncomfortable things.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No, I mean, I think women wear heels because they want to feel taller, aesthetically, like to look better, I guess. Once again, I'm not advocating for heels here. I mean, it's 2024, but we have to be careful what we talk about here.
I'm not afraid here. This is an easy conversation.
I'm frightened at 10 o'clock in the morning, but no, I think women wear heels because they want to appear taller. I think it could make their legs and their bodies look better.
Okay, this is nothing like the bee conversation yesterday, just to let you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to be nervous.
I'm frightened.
So I was just thinking, I was like, because my mom wore heels a lot.
Sure.
Right? And I'm like, first of all, they look like ankle breakers. I mean, nobody walks in heels like normal.
No, they're not comfortable.
Not at all.
No.
So, like, why all day would you want to wear them? Well, most people don't, I don't think. I think they probably put them on and then slip them off in other shoes. I get that part. But it's like, I don't even understand why you would wear them at ever. Like,
no, listen, I'm the same way with makeup. I think women wear a lot of makeup, and I wouldn't want to wear makeup, right? But I think, I think heels can provide the height, give women confidence. Same thing with makeup. I mean, I'm not saying women got to wear heels, women got to wear makeup, but if it makes you feel confident, if it makes you feel comfortable, if it makes you feel a certain type of way, then ladies, I ain't going to stop you.
All right, fair enough. So then I got to thinking, I was like, what is it that men wear or have or whatever that like a woman be like, I can't believe, like, why would you?
Oh, why would we?
Yeah, like why would I would say
Sweatpants.
like you would say like a tie.
Yeah, I mean ties I can't stand ties.
You would, but a lot of people wear ties. But ties aren't nearly as uncomfortable as like heels.
Sure. Well, I mean, I think there's some there's like wedges, right?
Yeah, I think there's variations. But I'm talking like
you're talking about like
the high heels that break. I'm talking the high heels that get stuck in the cement.
Pumps in the club. Yeah, I got you.
I'm talking. I'm not a genius or anything on high heels, but the ones that like get
you
stuck.
seem very amateurish. Yeah.
But what is there anything like that for men?
Why? So men rock something where women are like, why are you rocking that?
Yeah, like why would you do that?
A mustache.
I was actually thinking a beard.
Oh, what's up with the beard, man? Beards are fun.
Yeah, beards are like
women like beards now.
Women might like beards,
women
but
like
even
beards,
I, as a male, say that beard must be itchy as
because
hell.
you can't grow one.
I know.
So you're kind of a hater, though, huh? It ain't because don't go down this road with it. All right, don't say women don't like beards because you can't grow one.
Yeah, that's not
all right.
Like I
must be this tall to ride on the ride, Brent. You just can't get on the ride, and it's all good.
There's probably a little bit of that.
There's a little envy. There's a little beard envy.
But I have like not shaven for like 10 days on a vacation or something. I'm like, I got to get this thing off. I can't. It's too itchy. Whatever else. Like it's too hot. It's like I could see why women be like, why would you have a beard? But there's a little bit of that part. Like, so you say women do like beards.
I'm saying women do like beards, and I'm saying that beards don't itch as much as you think they do. But once again, you can't grow one. So it's like, you wouldn't know. I'm not trying to could you actually grow out a beard?
I don't know. I've never tried.
Oh, wow.
I never tried.
Stewart had a nice one going for a while.
Yeah, I would say, like, if Stewart could grow out a beard, I think I could probably grow out a beard.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm comparing myself to Stewart in this context.
But anyways, okay, so we got beards.
But I have no idea if I could.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'll ever find out.
Why not? Aren't you curious? Aren't you tired of shaving every single day?
I've gone to, I don't know if it's the TV thing or whatever else, but I also, like, seriously, I've been on vacation for a couple of weeks. I've tried, like, just like, all right, I'm not shaving or whatever else.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm never going to get there. Like, I'm not going to keep it going. Like, maybe vacation runs out.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, hey, I don't like it. It's too itchy, whatever it is. But it's like, I don't think I'm getting over the threshold to be like, okay, I'm all in.
Okay.
I just don't see me getting all in on the beard.
I mean, I see you be like David Letterman one day, like when you retire, years down the line, and then, they build a statue outside for you at Action Sports Jax.
Yeah,
and
that'd
everything.
be very nice.
I could see you rocking like
Miniature
an old,
one.
I'm saying like David Letterman, like a wizard kind of beard. But no, I think beards, women are fine with them. I think mustaches, women can go either they love them or they're like, what are you doing?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. But I can't think of anything else. Like in terms of like clothing or articles that guys, maybe like shoes. Like
what
Nikes
shoes look uncomfortable.
No, it's not uncomfortable. I'm saying like I think old dudes who, for instance, I said this before on the show way back in the day. Robert Kraft rocking Nikes to me is a little weird,
a little goofy,
little. It's a little goofy when you're 80 years old, going to massage parlors rocking Nikes.
Well,
he was convicted, was he not?
That might be part of the get-up.
What? Am I breaking anything here? What? I'm just relaying the news.
No, I mean, no. Okay, no 7-time world champ just going to massage parlors.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not breaking any news here. It happened. This is a news station. I'm breaking the news. All right.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, should we go to the kids' corner real quick? We still have Nick in the daytime over there.
Nick doesn't look like he's a beard grower either.
Nah, not at all. I can't grow it for nothing, man.
You tried?
Look, the way I know when it starts to grow in, it's not even worth trying. I don't even put the effort in. And it does get itchy. It's like 2-3 days in.
In the beginning process, it gets itchy.
Yeah. There's probably, there's a threshold. I think a little bit of it has to do with what I do. Like, I'm not.
What do you mean?
Well, because I'm not going on TV with like half a beard.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think there's some
of
that.
You can still line it up.
I guess. Like, I don't.
I think you're scared.
I'm not scared.
I think you're actually frightened. You're frightened to have a beard because you're afraid of what it could look like, number one. And number two, I think you're a little afraid that you can't grow it.
Like, are there really people that can't grow a beard?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. What? Where have you been? Yes.
I don't know.
There's people like with like patches or they can't grow like a full beard in. Absolutely.
Yeah. So like,
that ain't me though. Huh?
But if you let it grow long enough, you tell me it's still going to be patchy? Or do people give up on it? That's what I'm saying. You give up on it.
I'm saying I think there's some people out there, that are baby-faced that can't grow a full beard, that it'll be patchy. They just can't grow it in.
Yeah.
It's just,
and maybe that is the case.
They just didn't have the genetics or whatever.
But like when I go a little 5 o'clock shadow, which sometimes takes 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't feel like it's patchy.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no, I mean,
so it starts to fill in. But now, would it fill in like to the degree like you're talking? I don't know.
Hey,
like I have no idea.
Only one way to find out, Brent. I said we do this.
My dad actually has grown a beard, and so if it's genetic at all, I think he has shown that he's capable.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's genetic. But my dad and grandpa also like went bald when they were like 30, and I'm
really
sitting pretty.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You are not light on the flight
I
deck.
ain't worried. I say that now. Tomorrow I come in. People are.
What do you mean? It's like, why is he so mad here?
Because we don't understand. Just grow the beard.
The chat is wild right now.
How long have you been
Why are they
here?
mad about it? Are there really people that can't grow a beard?
No, there are people who can't grow a beard. I think if people are upset because you didn't know that. But anyways, Brent, you've been here for how long?
Here?
Yeah.
In town?
Well, I'm saying like in this building. Like working for the
16 years.
16 years. All right.
By then, I should be able to grow a beard.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like with 16 years, that should earn you something, right? Like if this is the NFL right now, congratulations, Brent. You're going in the wall or whatever you want to call it, the circle, the pride, whatever you want to call it. You're already there, right?
Yeah, maybe.
You're the Brad Meester right now.
Right now, I got Meester
in Jacksonville local sports, radio and television and everything. And Jacksonville media. Okay. You can grow a beard then. Just try it out. No one's going to say anything.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it.
I say we do it.
I'm not really that encouraged.
Kids Corner.
That's not where I was
Nick in the daytime. Well, that's where we ended up. Nick, what do you think? Should Brent Martineau grow a beard?
No,
what is it with you guys?
If it takes a couple of days, if he's not comfortable with it, don't force the man to grow a beard.
Wow, look at that. Nick doesn't have your same energy.
Unbelievable.
I do think actually, somebody said Delphonic, we need some artwork. Delphonic actually has some artwork.
Yeah.
I think of me in a beard. I can't remember what context it was in.
Yeah.
But he actually did do it one time.
Yeah.
And I thought I looked quite handsome.
I just can't believe the fact that I have to convince you guys for Brent to grow a beard here. It's not like I'm asking you to invest in some kind of crazy cryptocurrency where it's like, hey man, let me see a couple of those, let me see some of that Trent Bulky bucks and let's go invest. We're not investing anything. It's growing a beard. It's gonna be okay. You can shave it if it looks bad.
It's fine.
So let's do it.
Maybe I will someday. I do I'm a fan of like someone who has like a really good beard.
Thank you.
Yeah, your beard's good, but I think there are some people that have like really good beards. Like we know a family out in Clay. They play softball, and like when I see this dad, I'm like, that beard is awesome, man.
Yeah.
Like that's the first thing I say to him.
Yeah.
It just looks really good. The other thing I like, see, I'm not afraid of this as you get older. Is like that salt and pepper look, right? Or the gray look. Like it's not a bad look, man. Like I don't mind that at all.
I'm begging.
I'm looking forward to that.
I'm trying to take some white paint and start just poking some dots in this beard, man, and then the dreads. Once I get that salt and pepper mane going, it's over, Brent.
Yeah.
I'll tell you now, it's over, man.
It's Steve Boston. Yeah, don't worry, man. I went to school with a bunch of people like you. My beard grew in when I was in 10th grade. Yeah, exactly. Well, I didn't shave until I was like 25, so there's a difference.
Here's what I think we do, Brent. Go and make it a Twitter poll if you want, but I say that we take a vote if you grow out a beard or not, and then we have a progress report every single week about how the beard's coming in. It could be a fun thing for the show. It's not going to be like that distracting on the TV side of things. I think we have something here. Get it sponsored. We can sponsor. I mean, we can get somebody endorsed.
Well, now you're talking. I can be bought.
It can be bought.
Why before it says Brent seems like in the military? No,
clean cut.
Nah, not
clean cut.
I'm not hating on beards.
Women wearing heels. What's the deal with that? Yeah, man.
Now this is what I think about sometimes. So I'm like, seriously, those heels look so uncomfortable. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Why would I wear? That'd be like me walking around on stilts all day.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna get hurt.
Now I assume you've
Can't
never
move fast.
I assume you've never asked a woman this though, correct? Why do you wear those heels?
I haven't. I just thought of it last night.
Okay. Well, let's keep it that way. Just saying.
Right. I'll ask my mom later. And Steph doesn't wear heels, so
yeah. Shout out to Steph. Yeah.
But I think she's smart.
Yeah. I think she's a genius for sure. But also, once again, like I'm not gonna hate anyone. I mean, I would never wear them, but once again, I'm 6'6".
Yeah, you don't.
If I was a 6'6" woman, I'm probably wearing flats. I'm probably going barefoot.
You don't need them.
Yeah.
What the heck did I have on the topic list today?
Is Brittany Griner rocking heels? We should Google that.
Yeah. I don't know.
I doubt it.
How tall is she to begin with?
She's like 6'9", isn't she?
Is she that tall?
I think she's pretty tall.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's where I'll go. How about we talk some football? And I was thinking of this morning because it's going to coincide with another topic that I have about first-round draft picks. We touched on this a little bit yesterday, but then I kind of went down a little bit more of a rabbit hole on first-round draft picks for the Jags. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go backwards here. Who has a make-or-break season for the Jags? And when I say that, I mean, heck, it might be for them, right? It might be contractually. They're in a contract year. You would say Tyson Campbell, right? But Tyson Campbell's not out of the NFL if he doesn't play well. But it could be a huge year for him. He could earn a contract, could stay in Jacksonville for a long time. So it could impact Tyson Campbell.
Yeah.
Then I think of a guy like Devon Lloyd. Well, his contract isn't changing, but it could impact the way we look at a Trent Bulky draft, how we look at this regime, if there's growth from a guy like Devon Lloyd. So that's where I'm kind of at with this. If you look at the Jags right now, those are two names to me that come to mind right away. Like Andre Sisco, I don't look at him that way. I think he's an ascending good player. I don't know if sure, you could love to grow, and even, but I feel like he's been good. He's a third-round pick who's been good. I think he's delivered on what we thought. He's a ball-hawking guy. He's been able to get turnovers. That might parlay into a nice extension here or there. I don't think it's going to be the richest deal in NFL history for a safety, but I think there's growth there. So, but Lloyd and Campbell are different in that respect for me.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure there's anybody on the defensive front now the way they've got them all lined up, right? Trayvon Walker's not in a make-or-break season. He's going into year 3. Just showed something. Devon Hamilton might be a little bit make-or-break. Is he going to stay around on a contract that pays him handsomely after losing last year? But I don't get the sense it is. Devon Lloyd is really the topic for me. He's the one that comes to mind because I always say this. 2 years in, I don't know what he is. I don't know how good he is. I don't know if he's a really good football player. I don't know if he's a good football player. I don't know if he's an average football player. I don't know if he's a bad football player. I really don't know on Devon Lloyd, and I'm rooting like hell for him because I really like him a lot. But that first-round pick jumping back in will tell the story not only about Devon, but about Balky and how that draft looked.
Yeah, it would definitely say a lot. Someone in the chat, Duval TV, says tank, which I think could be a big one. But I mean,
good one. And another one that could impact Balky.
But if you're asking me for, and this is where I'm coming from, I get with Tyson Campbell, you say if he doesn't make it here, he'll play somewhere else, and I agree with that. But I also think that a lot of rumblings where the Jaguars would take a cornerback in round 1.
Yeah.
And the reason they didn't was because of Tyson Campbell, right? Because I think we have seen some good from Tyson Campbell. So I think you talk about a guy going into would be his last year because he doesn't have 5th-year option, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
so this is last year, this year. So
they could franchise tag him or something.
I mean, you could franchise tag him for sure, but I think this is a make or break year for Tyson Campbell because it's going to set the trajectory of what you need to do in the secondary going forward, right? Like, yes, you got a guy in the 3rd round, and he could eventually come in, but I think they're still all aboard the Tyson Campbell bus right now. And if that bus goes off the side of the road, falters, slips, then you got to talk about, okay, what's going to be the plan to replace a Tyson Campbell? So I think Tyson Campbell really is the make-or-break guy of this Jaguars team.
That's interesting because, again, I've come at this in 2 different ways. I almost come at it from a Balky way more than an individual person way. We want to go, like, grade this year's draft. They haven't even stepped on the field. We want to grade last year's draft. Well, it's hard to grade Tank and Brent Strange after 1 year. They're in a limited role, even though it's not off to a great start. I think it's fair to say that. But the 21 class now in terms of Tyson and Cisco and Walker Little, and those kind of guys. Well, we can grade that, and that's going to impact, I don't know if it's legacy, but the building of this roster for Balky, so in part it is legacy. Because if Tyson Campbell and Andre Cisco really play well, to me, those are make-or-break guys in that draft, because Trevor we think's good and going to be around. Travis Etienne has delivered, in my opinion. Walker Little might be, he is who he is. But if you end up getting 4 guys out of that draft that are really good players, then that draft becomes very, very good for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So, and we're now a couple years down the road, like we can see it. Same with, I think now we're going to get into by the end of this year. If everybody says, hey, give it a few years on a draft to see what it's like, Trayvon, okay, looks like he's doing well. But then what about guys like Devon Lloyd? And Devon Lloyd's a big one because they jump back in the first round to get him. And that's why I say this is going to kind of merge a little bit with my first-round draft pick kind of conversation that we'll have a little bit later on. But Lloyd is a massive part of this for me. Like Tyson is, Lloyd is, how we view those 21, 22 drafts. I don't know if Muma's even going to get the chance. We might just say, why did you pick another linebacker? You couldn't even get him on the field. But he could emerge. You never know. He could emerge out of that. Fortner, we've already given up on, remember. He was in that draft. We've already given up on the guy. So I think that becomes Lloyd, and maybe even a Muma or someone else from that draft become very important to showcase how good that thing was.
No, I mean, they become important, but with Lloyd, though, don't you feel like he gets a new lease on life now because it seems like he may have not been playing the best position these past couple of years, and then maybe doing him a little bit of disservice? Don't you feel like Ryan Nielsen's coming in now and saying, all right, Lloyd, we see what you did in college. We want you to rush the passer more. We want you to blitz more. We want you to do these things that you're so accustomed to doing from college a little more, instead of just being maybe a traditional, linebacker where, hey, see man, get man.
Yeah, I think it's fair, but I'm not going to give all the excuses to Lloyd. And somebody said the thumb injury. I get it. He had a hamstring in the first year as well in training camp, missed most of that. I think when you have 2 years and you've played as much football as he has, you have got to show a little bit better signs. I'm not going to sit here and just blame Mike Caldwell for that. I do think there is blame on that. I've said it many times. I think it's part of the reason he got fired. I think if you take Devon Lloyd alone as a sample, it's part of the reason he got fired. My guess is he influenced their selection to go back in the first round. I'm okay with that. Coach influence. He knows linebackers. Won a Super Bowl and helping those linebackers out in Tampa because they were awesome that year. They won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. But after 2 years, if my defensive coordinator, who's a linebacker specialist, can't take the guy that we went up and drafted in the first round, and we don't know what he is, certainly it's on Caldwell. But I do think this also falls on Lloyd a little bit. He's got to play better. He's got to know it more. He's got to have less of the ups and downs. And so that's why I think it's a huge year for him. I'll give him some excuses, but I can't just totally put it all on coaching and everything else. Maybe Nielsen does get the best out of him, to your point. Maybe they do stick him in a spot. But a little bit, it's like, hey, did they play Taven Bryan in the right spot all the time? Did they ask him to do too much? Well, they asked him to do too much. But was Taven Bryan good enough either way? Probably not, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's still a little bit of both sides. And Lloyd has shown some terrific flashes. See, that's what gives you hope. He has shown some really good flashes.
Of course.
So maybe if they do get back to doing what he did in college, maybe they can accentuate the positives.
And what was Myles Jack better at? Having the green dot playing Mike or playing the weak side linebacker?
Yeah, exactly.
I think it was a night and day difference.
Yeah.
And I think the same could be said for Lloyd if you put him in a spot to succeed.
And I think that's why I feel the way I do. Again, I'm a big Lloyd fan. Like, I like the move to go into the first round. I like the player. I like the young man. I think he can really add value if he plays well with confidence. I think he can add value to their locker room. I think this is a great leader. He was a great leader at Utah. I mean, you can feel that guy. I don't think we've been able to feel him in Jacksonville because his play's been inconsistent. Mm-hmm. So if they can get that guy working and they get him playing to his best ability, to your point, Nielsen's able to do that, put him in the right spots, he could really elevate that defense. To me, like Tyson Campbell, sure, he better elevate the defense. Like, they need him to play well. Andre Sisco, yeah, you play well because you have to back there. Foye Lukin, we think's going to play well. Josh, Trayvon, we know what those guys are. Eric Armstead's a good player. The guy that could maybe really elevate the defense, because we think there's ceiling in there that hasn't been tapped yet, is probably Lloyd. Because I think, again, if he plays well, I think 3 years in, I think you're going to start seeing him do like leadership things and have the confidence to do that. I think that's what kind of player he is. So I got my eyes on Devon Lloyd this year and really rooting for him. And I think not only that, by the way, all those other intangibles.
Yeah.
The dude's shown he's a playmaker. Like, he can be a playmaker. Mm-hmm. He's had picks. He's had fumble recoveries. And now they're going to try to get him in the mix, it looks like, on the pass rush. I think he becomes a very critical player for the Jacksonville Jaguars this year. And again, his career's not over if he doesn't play lights out.
Yeah.
But he could make or break that 2022 NFL draft for Trent Baalke.
Yeah, I mean, I guess my only point that I'm trying to make here is if Tyson Campbell doesn't live up to his expectations, what's the backup plan then for the season?
Yeah, I mean, well, the backup plan is you went and got a lot of depth.
Well, okay, who's taking his role?
Well, it might be Jared Jones.
Jared Jones then coming in right away?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think you can ask the same thing. What if Darby gets hurt, right? If he can't stay on the field? Or what if he's not playing that well? He's aging out a little bit. Well, then Jared Jones. I think the guy that has to play well for them is Savage. But even there, you have Antonio Johnson or Savage that can kind of rotate spots. They have some depth at the safety. And listen, I will go, and I'm not going to give up. In that same draft that I'm talking about in 2022, I've seen some good things out of Buster Brown. And am I saying that guy is a lockdown corner? No. I'm not trying to oversell you. I'm just saying the guy's played some, and he's impacted play, and I thought he got better. I thought he was, like, I don't hate the fact that guy's in the game. I also think you wonder if Gregory Jr. can take another step. They were very high on him last year. Like, coming out of camp, they thought he would beat out Trey Herndon. Mm-hmm. And then Herndon held him off in the nickel spot. But those are guys that they drafted, they're developing, and now again, Nielsen, with this defense, can they develop even more? Can they get even better coaching and then turn some of their qualities into high performers?
What are you confident with more, though, going forward? If it was, okay, let's say Devon Lloyd falls off, are you more confident with Ventrell Miller replacing him? Because that'd probably be the next guy in line unless somebody shines through training camp, but you think Ventrell Miller, right?
Well, you don't think Muma would play his role?
And the weak side?
Not that weak side.
Nah, I don't think that weak side.
Probably,
no.
Miller.
Would you feel...
Ventrell Miller, by the way, was chosen to be a middle linebacker, too. Like, that kind of was his... coming out in the fourth round. But, yeah, probably Miller, and that's an unknown guy.
No, it's an unknown guy. Or are you confident with, Jarian Jones replacing Tyson Campbell then?
Oh, which one am I more?
Yeah. Or neither.
No, I would say I've actually, again, I don't think we've seen a lot. We haven't seen either of them. So
Sure.
I would say I'd be more confident in Jarian Jones.
Okay.
Replacing Tyson Campbell.
Okay.
I don't know if I fully believe that, but I think I would.
Okay.
If I think there's, and again, I'll say this, Austin, like I think there's even depth further down the charts.
Yeah.
Like I think, I don't think you want to do this. I'm just saying I think you could do this and survive with Buster Brown out there or somebody else out there that's been in your system. I think they actually have some pretty good depth at the cornerback spot. I think the question is, do they have, like back to yesterday's conversation, do they have any B+, A- A kind of players? Like Tyson feels like he can be that guy. Their problem is they don't have star power in the secondary. It doesn't feel like it coming into this year. I think they have a lot of depth. I think they have versatility and depth that I'm okay with playing. I just don't know if you're going to get like really, really, really good play out of it. And therefore, you're going to have to band-aid some things up to do so. Keep in mind, the Kansas City Chiefs are a great example here of a team that played with some young guys. They grew guys like Snead and others in their, McDuffie. And I'm not trying to compare them. I'm just saying they weathered some of the growing pains. And probably, and we didn't watch Kansas City every game, but probably some of their ups and downs as young players, they went with them. And now they've really developed them. They got a lot of playing time, and those guys are good and had been good. So I think the Jaguars are kind of in that boat a little bit with some of their younger players. Like, you got to wait and see and throw them out there and see how they handle it. And I think some of those other guys from a depth standpoint are just fine for me. Again, I don't know if you're coming away with a Snead or even a McDuffie. That's impossible to gauge. All right, let's take a break. Brent Austen Show, not fully bearded, but one guy is. That's how we start this thing. We'll get more football talk. First rounders, I kind of went down a rabbit hole a little bit on the first rounders with the Jags after we had a little conversation. And it's weird. It's like, okay, are they doing well in the first round? Have they done well in the first round? Or are they just relatively doing better than they did the previous 10 years in the first round? So we have a little bit of that conversation coming up as well. Everbank Stadium, the place to be this weekend for the Luke Combs concert. Just a couple of scheduling things. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, who we'll talk about in the 11 o'clock hour because they're on the verge of a milestone. Those games tomorrow and Saturday are at 1 o'clock because of the concert, to avoid, obviously, some parking and troubles. So 1 o'clock games at the baseball grounds on Friday and Saturday because of the big concert in town this weekend. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town, and I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville Orange Park and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part, they did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 888-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
I like to say everybody has a story, and sometimes we're a part of other people's stories. That's the case here at Nimnicht Buick GMC. My family and the Nimnicht family. We've purchased 6 different vehicles from Nimnicht Buick GMC. Maybe you're in the market for a truck. Well, let me tell you about the GMC Sierra. I absolutely love mine. I've had a couple of these. This one's a 2020, but right now on 2024 GMC Sierras here at Nimnicht Buick GMC, there's special financing. A year ago, we purchased a GMC Terrain for the kids. Financing rates as low as 0.9% for eligible buyers on Terrains and no payments for 90 days. Looking for used instead of new? Buy a used car with the Car Bravo program. Nimnicht Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Let the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville take care of you and your family. Come on out and see the showroom, meet the fantastic people, or shop online at nimnichtbuickgmc.com. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Thank you for making Action News Jax the best in Jax and Folio's Best of Jax 2023. Best TV station, Best TV newscast, Best TV morning show. Chandler Morgan voted Best TV anchor. The Chief, Mike Burrish, voted Best meteorologist. And Brent Martineau voted Best TV sports anchor. And while you're on the go, Best news website and Best local blog, The Burrish Blog. Thank you for making Action News Jax local coverage you can count on.
It's a new logo, new branding, but with Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. And with that comes the perks we miss in the big business world. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained. And they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at BoldCityAC.com. The folks at Bold City Heating and Air also know your AC unit is important and can be a big expense. That's why they have financing to help. No payments, no interest for 12 months on new systems. $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at BoldCityAC.com. Homegrown in your hometown. Bold City Heating and Air.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Bolles Lacrosse getting a win last night, 23-4. Bolles is very good. They will play Oak Hall now on Saturday. Beat Episcopal last night, the regional semis. They'll play for a spot in the Final Four coming up on Saturday night. That will be at Bolles, 7 o'clock. Ponte Vedra also will be home. No surprise there. Two of the top schools in the area when it comes to lacrosse, top teams in the state, top teams in the country, quite frankly. And the only losses so far this year for Bolles have been outside the state of Florida. I think they lost to a team from Maryland and Virginia, obviously also very good in lacrosse. So good luck to those guys coming up this weekend as the spring sports season wraps up in a bunch of sports. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, back at the Action Sports Jax 24/7 studios. Hey, if you don't know by now, which I think you do, but check out the network on actionnewsjax.com and the Action News Jax app. We started the show the last couple of weeks, if you haven't caught it yet. Miller and Moulton, it's a show based right here in the state of Florida. They've now entered the Jacksonville area on our Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. So they'll talk some Jacksonville stuff, but also some wider range stuff around the state of Florida. And you can catch them 6 a.m. until 10 a.m. daily here on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Glad to have them a part of it. And days like today and tomorrow and really Wednesday, too, we've been putting some extra content on after our show. Cup date with Stuart Weber, a week with Action Sports Jax with Olivia Tassley, 1 and 1:30. And then no gate fees we have from 2 to 3 p.m. That one presented by Nimnik Buick GMC. And we'll replay those shows for you on Thursday and Friday. That's the cool part about the network. We can replay. If you can't catch it first time around, you can usually catch it another time around. And that goes for our show, too, that we'll replay from 3 to 6 p.m. on a daily basis there on ActionNewsJax.com and the Action News Jax app. More to come, including the Jacksonville Armada will have a soccer game for you coming up on May 11th. The Armada will be playing, and we will carry that game live right here on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. So again, this isn't just our show, but it is bigger than that and more to come. We're having some fun with some of the make it or break it kind of seasons for the Jacksonville Jaguars and what they need to do, and really how much the Jags. I think this more is a representation. Again, my idea of this is more representation of Trent Baalke's drafts.
Yes.
And how they look. Because at times the 2021 draft has looked really good.
Yeah.
For the Jags.
Absolutely.
Like really good. And if they can do that, like if it really proves to be good, Trevor, Travis, Tyson, Cisco. We'll see about Walker Little. I'm still not giving up on Walker Little being a part of this thing for a long time to come in Jacksonville. Like, I think he could be the replacement for Cam Robinson after next year. So that could take shape. If those guys are good, and not even 4 of them, I think 4 guys. I don't know what you have to have. But if 4 guys can be good out of a draft, Tefeli, by the way, is already gone. Jordan Smith, too. Jalen Camp as well. So the 4th round was a waste. Luke Farrell's contributed. Yeah. And I think he's going to be a part of it. I mean, he's not a bad player. I don't think he's a dynamic player, but he's been fine. This has potential to kind of be the class, right? Now, how many are you getting out of this one, Austin? Trayvon, you need Devon Lloyd. Fortner looks like it's a miss. Muma, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. I don't know how to project Muma. Connor's no-go. And maybe one of those guys emerge as even depth or something else in the 6th or 7th round.
Yeah, I mean, I know we don't know how to project Muma right now, but I think we'd both be very surprised if he's the starter on the Jaguars 3 or 4 years from now.
Is or isn't?
I think we'd be surprised if he is the starter 3 or 4 years from now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it because I don't really know much, again, about like Ventrell Miller either. So Muma, to me, is a good player. He's a solid player. When I've seen him, I don't know if he's a dynamic player. But does that matter? Can you be solid and good at that spot? And that's okay. It's just part of a defense. I don't really know. I just can't gauge it. I really can't. So this actually brings the conversation back to the first round, in this class in particular. The 2022 class is not going to be like this epic class. But if Trayvon Walker continues to ascend and you hit on him, which hopefully you did, and Devon Lloyd can have that big year, and now you marry that with Trevor Lawrence and Travis Etienne, who they just picked up their 5th-year options. That's the first-round hit stuff, which I think actually goes back to Josh Allen. Josh Allen in 2019, you just extended. Sure. Now, this comes with a hiccup. 2020 was miserable.
Yeah, do you want to go back to 2020?
2020 was miserable.
C.J. Henderson and Caleb Von Chason?
Yeah, that was a miss.
Yikes.
But for this organization, if they hit on 19, if they hit on 21, if they hit on 22, and I think Anton Harrison's good, man. If they hit on 23, that's 4 out of 5 years you're hitting in that first round. By the way, that's a way better hit rate than this organization's ever had.
Sure.
So that first round is shaken out. And I'll even go back further. And the reason why I separate it, but if you go back to 16, it was Jalen Ramsey. 17, Fournette.
Yeah.
And those weren't bad picks. Now, listen, I get it. The running back thing. But it was a big pick that year. It helped them get – the problem why I don't want to loop it in, and I think this starts with Josh Allen instead, is because those guys didn't stay on the team. Like, they were gone within 3 years of getting drafted. So that's why I think this has to start at 2019.
But here's the thing. And I get you're very adamant, and I actually agree with you here. Leonard Fournette was a big part of the Jaguars going to the playoffs. I'll give him his flowers there. But is it really a good first-round draft pick if he's gone 3 years later?
Well, no, but I think this is where I'll wrestle with people. You're right. It isn't. In hindsight, in the long term. It was Patrick Mahomes. It was, I mean, at the time, it was Deshaun Watson, so you could take it. But, those guys are the guys you passed. You shouldn't have probably taken, for the betterment of the organization, taken Fournette. But I'm just sitting here and telling you, as a guy who's been here 16 years and we've seen two good seasons.
Okay.
That you ain't having that good season without Leonard Fournette. They're number 1 in the National Football League in rushing.
And one can make an argument and say, well, if you had Deshaun Watson, would that have been a pretty good season? If you had Patrick Mahomes, would that? We don't know. But what I do know is that you took Leonard Fournette number 4 overall in the draft, and he was here for 3 seasons.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's not a good first-round draft pick.
No, but the Jags got the closest they've ever gotten to a Super Bowl with Leonard Fournette as a first-round pick and a workhorse.
And I'm not disagreeing with that, but I'm also going to say if you take somebody number 4 overall and they give you 3 years of play, that is not a good first-round draft pick.
So were you? I forget who else they could have taken in that draft. They had been committed to Bortles. Obviously, they weren't taking quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, so who else in that draft? I mean, Corey Davis didn't do anything. Jamal Adams, Mike Williams, Christian McCaffrey, John Ross, Christian McCaffrey. Okay, that's actually the best example. Marshawn Lattimore, Hassan Reddick,
but
a lot of people.
But McCaffrey's the best example.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
They get one of the best guy in the game and the most dynamic player. Now he's obviously
Dalvin
on his
Cook
second
was in
team.
that class too. And but you're not going to
later on, in the second round, right? Yeah, which shows you could have got Dalvin Cook later on.
Joe Mixon,
right?
Joe Mixon.
So, okay, so overall, Fournette,
Alvin Kamara
is a bad pick.
Yeah, I mean it's not a good first round pick if he's only here for 3 years. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but he might have even been the best one of the backs. I mean, not the best one of the backs.
Oh, not even close. Alvin Kamara, I'm taking him all day over Leonard Fournette. With all due respect to playoff Lenny, but I would probably take Alvin Kamara. I would consider Joe Mixon. I would consider, I mean, I know he's kind of falling off now, but Dalvin Cook.
Yeah. Just based on the actual running backs taken alone, it's a bad pick. And obviously Cam's been a good pick out of that draft, and DeJuan Smoot was a good pick. I mean, he really was. He had some nice years here, and I obviously that ship has sailed on DeJuan playing return to the Jacksonville Jaguars. But it's such a catchy thing for me, and I get it. I would agree with you. I would say overall it's a bad pick. 3 years. There are other running backs. I also just think when you say that, when we're right, we have to give up the 2017 season.
And that's fine. And just because he balled out in 2017 doesn't make it a good draft pick. It doesn't make a draft pick for your franchise.
No, but I also don't think it makes it a bad draft pick.
Okay.
Like,
I think Chris McCaffrey could have done similar things. I mean, they're not the same type of runner, but I think Christian McCaffrey in 2017 could have had a lot of success and willed the Jaguars to maybe a run.
Yeah. And now listen, people would say that, and the reason why I even hesitate on that is just it was more of a mentality that Coughlin was trying to implement, right? That tough nose stuff.
No, without a doubt.
And that's not McCaffrey's style. Now he can run tough. I'm just saying at the time, you got to put yourself back in that place in time.
Yeah.
And McCaffrey, while obviously in hindsight, way better pick. The Fournette stuff was impactful. Again, they led the league in rushing. They were 6th in the league in offense because of it. And so there was a lot that goes into it. But again, I can't deny, I mean, all those other running backs are overall better, have had better careers overall. Letty's had a nice career, too.
He has, yeah.
And maybe Fournette.
Got a Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, it was a Super Bowl. And Fournette, one other thing about Fournette I think he did do that maybe those guys wouldn't have done is he gave this team an edge. Like he was an edgy guy. Right? Mm-hmm. As a young player.
Yeah.
I'm not sure those other, like what we're looking for right now out of, like, hey, who's going to add some edge?
Yeah.
Who's going to add some personality?
Sure.
He did a great job of that.
And that edge lasted 3 years. Yes. I mean, I'm not.
Listen, I'm not denying it. I'm
not saying Leonard Fournette's a bad running back by any means. Yeah. And did he help the Jaguars go to the playoffs? Absolutely. Was he the centerpiece of a playoff run? Absolutely. But I'm not going to say he's a good draft pick if he's only here for 3 years. You took him at number 4.
Yeah, I don't think we're arguing.
Okay.
I'm not arguing it.
Okay.
I think you feel like I'm arguing it. I'm just giving it context.
Okay.
It also, like, again, I just don't think you're – I like 2017.
We all do.
And we wouldn't have had it without Leonard Fournette, in my opinion. I don't think we would have had it with Christian McCaffrey. I don't think we would have had it with Joe Mixon.
Okay.
I don't think we would have had it with Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
I think Leonard Fournette was a difference maker in 2017. Now, I think a lot of people would not agree with me there because they're going to look at the whole totality of those guys' careers instead of that specific season and moment in time. But in hindsight, it's a bad pick. And same with Ramsey. Like, so is Ramsey a bad pick?
No.
He was here for 3 years.
I mean, he was here for 3 years, correct, yes. But number one, Like, you knew what you're getting with him. What do you give me this look for?
Well, what's the difference?
The difference is because he wanted out. I'm sorry, did Leonard Fournette fake a back injury and, like, try to say, hey, I'm out of here? Or did he get cut from the team? Did you get 2 first-round draft picks for Leonard Fournette? How are you comparing this?
Well, I think it still falls in the bad bucket, though. You couldn't develop the relationship. You couldn't maintain your guy. That's a guy you want in the second contract. He's won a Super Bowl since. He's still an all-pro every time. Like, to me, there's not that much. I mean, I know the circumstances are different, but it's not that different.
To me, it's different because that's on Tom Coughlin. We've been over this. The whole Jalen Ramsey saga was because of Tom Coughlin, and he didn't agree with management, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Okay? You didn't cut Leonard Fournette because he didn't disagree with management because, well, he wasn't really doing that well. I mean, let me ask you this, Brent. Did we have an undrafted free agent that came in and replaced Jalen Ramsey?
No.
Okay, then.
But when they cut Leonard Fournette, I think people were surprised.
We were definitely surprised.
Yeah.
And then what do we do a couple months later when we had James Robinson? Were we like, man, we missed Leonard Fournette?
No.
Okay, are we still thinking, man, wouldn't mind having Jalen Ramsey here?
Yeah, but
so then that's the difference.
Yeah, I still think I think it falls in a good player, bad development pick, bad building block pick. If you can't keep him past 3 years, well, I guess he would have been 3, 16, 17, 18, halfway through a 19, his 4th season. So anyway, long story short, I think this whole story starts in the first round at 2019.
Okay.
If Anton Harrison is good, I think, and Devon Lloyd can even raise his level of play. I don't think he has to be like a Hall of Famer or a Pro Bowler or whatever else. I think he can be a contributor and elevate your defense more than he has the last 2 years. I think those two guys can really say, hey, Jags are hitting now in the first round since 2019 from Josh, with the miss of obviously the 2 first-round picks in 2020 were a massive miss. Yep. Much like this team had massively missed for the decade prior to the Ramsey conversation, from Derek Harvey to others. Mm-hmm. So I think that's an important part of it. And then you got to sprinkle in these other guys. But as we look at drafts, as we say make or break this year, who's going to help make that draft even better of 2021, it starts in the first round. Like, sure. We can talk about the second. Jags have had a lot of success in third rounds. Yannick Ngakoue, Brandon Linder, guys like that. They've had success in the second round. Jawan Taylor, by the way, nice 4 years here overall for the Jags. Cam Robinson we just showcased. So they've had those guys. They've had fifth rounders like Telvin Smith that have really come in and contributed in quite a way. So they've had some success there. But I think it all starts in one. You build your cornerstones in that first round. You've got to be able to hit more than you miss. Occasionally you're going to get away from it, and something's going to go wrong. But the nice thing about this organization right now, in my opinion, is you have a chance, and Brian Thomas Jr. might be another one, to add 5 out of 6 years if Thomas hits 2. And again, there's a bunch of ifs that come with this because you got to get down the road before you know. Yeah. But if the Jags can really nail these first rounders from a contribution standpoint, from a second contract standpoint, from a Pro Bowl standpoint, and a blue chip standpoint, now you got something. And I think 19 was really the start of it. And I think 2021 was a big recovery from the bad 2020 class. And you might have really from 19 and 21, you may end up, you're going to have the 2 richest contracts ever awarded in Jacksonville. Yeah.
You know, and I'll agree with you. Like,
Trayvon might be down the road.
And first rounders, they haven't done too bad. And then I'm looking from 2019 in terms of third and later, not so good.
Yeah, not enough.
Well, but once again, like this has to be talked about in totality. Like, all right, you're pretty good at drafting the first round. That's great. But if you're a GM, I look at more of how do you evaluate talent in the second, third, fourth round. And this team, they've had some talent. They've had Quincy Williams, and then you let him go.
Yeah, weird.
You know, Josh Oliver, whatever now. He's gone. He's in Baltimore, I think, still, or maybe he went someplace else. I guess Devon Hamilton would be a guy. Brent, these names. Quincy Williams, Rock Armstead, Gardner Minshew, obviously he's gone, and then Dontavius Russell, Shaq Quarterman, Daniel Thomas, Colin Johnson, Jake Luton, Tyler Davis, Ben Barch, Josiah Scott, Laviska Shenault, Jay Tufele, and then Jordan Smith. We did those already. It's Snoop Connor, Chad Muma, Gregory Jr.
Yeah, not enough impact.
No.
Not enough impact. They've had to fill that void obviously in free agency instead because of that. So, yeah, some of these guys, that's what, I mean, we just talked about this draft for the last week now, and that Mason Smith pick, right? That Jerry Jones pick. Mm-hmm. Maybe it is Jordan Jefferson. You got to find some diamonds somewhere. That might be the best. Like, the Jags just haven't been able to find many diamonds. I mean, in a way, Gardner Minshew was a diamond for a little bit.
Yeah, but
because that's a 6th-round guy that you're not banking on him doing much.
Sure.
But he does more than you're banking on. Undrafted free agents have had more success than late-round draft picks here in Jacksonville.
Yeah. But then what is it also saying, like, when you do find diamonds like Quincy Williams, where no one was saying, why'd you bring him in? And all of a sudden he goes to New York, and now he's an all-pro.
Yeah, that was a weird one. But,
like, that's got to be mentioned.
Well, it's mentioned. It's just weird because it's like that was Urban Meyer and Trent Bulk. It was the same thing on, and this guy's not even that good. Who's the tight end? Oliver.
Yeah, Josh Oliver. Yeah.
He just let him go.
Well, it's like a 6th-round pick, but yeah, just let him go for sure.
They just let him go. No, he was a 3rd-round pick.
No, I'm saying they gave him up. Didn't they trade for a 6th-round pick to Baltimore?
Did they trade him?
I could have swore they gave him like a 6th-round pick.
I thought they just cut him.
And I thought that was the joke where another 6th-round pick.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was. But either way, it's like you didn't even get to camp to see what he was.
Correct.
And then he's still playing, I think. Maybe he's in Minnesota or somewhere else. Mm-hmm. He was with Baltimore, right? But, yeah, there's some of all that coincides with, like, the urban stuff. Quincy Williams.
Sure.
And I think Quincy Williams was it would have been urban. That's when they let him go. But maybe Quincy was the one they just let go for nothing.
Yeah.
They flat out just cut him.
It was nothing.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becomes an all-pro.
Yeah.
Or a Pro Bowler or whatever else.
Yeah, I mean, Pro Bowler. I think he might have been all-pro. I can't remember.
Yeah, so the Jags have to sooner or later, and I think it's once in a while. Like, I think if you look at teams like Baltimore and Pittsburgh and maybe it's New England over the years, because New England didn't necessarily draft great overall. Even when they were maintaining success. Now, they probably hit one here or there. But I do think you have to have, like Detroit we talked about yesterday, you've got to have one of these blockbuster drafts that changes it. You've got to have a draft that, like, whoa, we got 5 guys in this draft. And for us here in Jacksonville, that 21 class is it. You got to be able to sprinkle others in. Again, maybe now that we go back over these drafts, it's maybe more like 3. You take your first rounder and can you get 1 or 2 other guys in that draft? Oh, really 2. You got to have like a minimum. You got to have 3 guys out of your 8 picks or 9 picks or 7 picks. And that's why people have a problem right now with that draft last year. You had 13 picks.
Yeah.
And we maybe can see 2. Anton Harrison and Antonio Johnson are like the lights of that draft as of now. This chat said earlier, make or break season maybe for Bulky on Brenton Strange and guys like Tank Bigsby to see if they can contribute more and get more out of them. Because you can't go 1 or 2 for 13 in that draft.
Nope.
Or that you're going to eventually lose your job if that's the case. 11 o'clock hour coming up. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, by the way, have a big milestone, an unusual one. We'll tell you about it. We'll head down to the baseball grounds in just a bit. And we'll get back some football talk as well. You see the story about Marvin Harrison Jr. We'll hit on that. It's kind of interesting, I think, and how that ends up shaking out. I think he's actually creating some value for himself, though, in a strange way. We'll talk about it on the Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access. Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence. You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Strings, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
I'm Action News Jax First Alert meteorologist Garrett Beaton. While the sun is up and it's going to be a beautiful day.
Sometimes you just need a day to yourself. And Garrett's First Alert forecast makes sure you're ready to go out and enjoy. Garrett and the Action News Jax This Morning team helping you start your morning right.
Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We know that at our home. You can find out as well. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? Well, CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions to improve it. The higher your water score, the better your water. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242, cgcwater.com. Financing options are available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Community. That's who we serve.
It's the people. Yes, the people.
Demanding answers because the truth matters.
When are you going to do the job?
Listening and getting help to those who need it.
I just appreciate it from the bottom of my heart.
It's about telling stories from deep inside our neighborhoods, informing you, building connections, tracking storms.
Serious storm situation, the kind of which we rarely see.
Holding people accountable.
You were getting at the truth.
That's who we are. Action News Jax.
The friendliest golf course in town, the Golf Club at Southampton. Local golfers have no shortage of options when it comes to picking a course to play here in Northeast Florida year-round. Yet time and time again, I find myself here at the Golf Club at Southampton. Easy to get to off 210 in St. Johns County. It's family-owned and operated and renowned for being one of the area's most player-friendly. That's just one of the reasons we hold the Action Sports Jax Dream 18 charity golf tournament here each fall. The Mark McCumber design layout is great for all skill levels of golfers, from the guys who bomb it a mile on the range to golfers like me who are just happy to put it in the fairway, which Southampton has very accommodating fairways. And if you need new clubs, come down to the pro shop. They'll fit you up and get you a nice new set like they did for me. For more information on membership or to book a tee time and see for yourself, head over to golfsouthampton.com or call the clubhouse at 904-287-7529. The Golf Club at Southampton. It's the official home of the Action Sports Jax Dream 18. Make it your home for golf too.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
The Oat Milkers in action on Wednesday night. So I guess the story is, and Weber told me this story, that the minor league baseball signed some kind of deal, or maybe Major League Baseball did, with this Oat Milkers product. I don't even know what it is. Obviously something to do with dairy and farming and everything. Yeah. And every minor league baseball team has to be called the Oat Milkers at some point this year.
Wait, what?
Everyone. Like there's 100, I don't know.
Oh, so this wasn't a real team. I mean, this was a team, obviously, but...
This is the Jumbo Shrimp for a night.
Okay, I thought they were playing the Oat Milkers.
No, they are the Oat Milkers.
Huh.
Yeah. So the Jumbo Shrimp turn into the Oat Milkers.
Gotcha.
I think that's the story. Let's go see if we can find out if that's really the story.
Okay.
At, the 1-2-1 Financial Ballpark. Brent Martineau, Austin Lane, and I think we have Scott Kornberg ready to go from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp or the Oat Milkers. I don't know. Maybe he was confused last night when getting everything ready for the ball game. We good to there he is. There's Scott. Give us the story, man. Do I have that somewhat right, or am I just making stuff up?
No, you have it right. So minor league baseball signed this huge sponsorship with Malmo Milk, and I think it's a town in maybe Sweden or Switzerland, and basically they wanted the uniforms to look like cows. The ironic thing is that cows do not produce oat milk, but anyway, that's why we were the Oat Milkers yesterday.
You must talk to these guys sometime, right? And they get it. It's minor league baseball. It's a lot of fun stuff. It's cool. But you must talk to some guys in the clubhouse who are like, what the hell am I wearing?
Yeah, some of the jerseys are received really well. Man, these are cool. Some of them not so much. Yesterday's, the only feedback I heard was that they're really big. The jerseys they got were too big for everybody. Maybe that's why we lost 5-0. A new day today.
A new day today. How's the season going so far? What are you learning about this team? It's always tricky in the early going of a season in minor league baseball because you got people coming from all over the place and trying to get acclimated, and they are trying to get acclimated, trying to build chemistry, of course. You got call-ups up and down. But what's your take so far on this edition of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp?
They've played well. They're 16-13. This is a tough team coming in here. Scranton Wilkes-Barre, the Yankees AAA affiliate, has the best record in the league, and they've allowed the fewest runs in the league, and it's kind of out these first two games. But Jacksonville starting pitching is the third best ERA in the International League, so they've got some really good starting pitching, and they never steal bases, but they have a lot of pop. So they're among the league leaders in home runs and doubles and slugging percentage. And the way Jacksonville's parent club, the Marlins, has really had a tough season so far. I think there's a lot of guys who look at this like, I really have an opportunity, right? Because the Marlins will be sellers of the trading deadline almost certainly, and there's been a lot of injuries. We've had a ton of rehab guys. We had two in the lineup yesterday, and for people like Troy Johnston and Tristan Gray and Griffin Conine and Jonah Bride, all these guys who have been tremendous here, they're really close to getting that call up in a lot of those guys' cases for the first time.
Is the no stealing bases, the power stuff, is that an organizational thing, by the way, or just the way this team happens to be constructed?
Just the way this team happens to be constructed. Marlins normally like athletic guys, and it's just the way we've got things here. It just hasn't worked out. But the last 23 games, they've stolen 8 bases in 10 attempts, which is good. 80% is where you want to be. But that's the fewest attempts and the fewest steals of any team in AAA. So they're 30th out of 30 teams. So it's just the way things have been. Other teams are really running wild. The Marlins themselves are a fairly aggressive team in the major leagues. But the pieces here, they just have more power.
Scott, when we talk about, minor league baseball, it's all about the fun nights that you guys have. What's been kind of the best night so far in terms of, I don't want to call it a gimmick, but, it's like a style of night, and which one are you guys looking forward to coming up here?
Ooh, that's a good question. The best one we had so far was like a fake snow day. So we threw like several hundred, like really puffy balls down from the suite level into the concourse. And it was, going crazy. They didn't like, what is going on here? And there was a huge beach ball, and people were yelling and screaming, and play is resumed at this point. And the players are kind of looking around because there's a ton of commotion going on. That's my favorite thus far. The one that I'm really looking forward to, and David Ratch, you guys know him, he comes up with these ideas. I cannot take any credit. He came up with, kind of on the take of a gender reveal, a ginger reveal night. So anybody who wants to dye their hair red can come to the ballpark that night. I believe I have to get the exact date, but they can come with dye your hair red, and you'll be revealed to the rest of the crowd at 1-2-1 Financial Ballpark.
Well, I should bring my kids that day.
Do they aspire to be redheads? Like, is that a
no?
thing?
They already are.
They are.
Oh, you're good.
You're good.
I'm natural.
I don't have to do anything.
Man, I love it.
Scott Kornberg with us from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Hey, you guys are closing in on 1,000 call-ups. That's the big milestone. I think you're at 999. You guys are kind of counting this thing down, right? From not just the Jumbo Shrimp, but the Suns organization over the years?
This dates back to 1904. So that's the first minor league baseball team in Jacksonville. So during the pandemic, we obviously had no baseball. But one of the things that I had noticed was our record keeping. Like, I thought that was kind of a neat thing that we did have. And so I spent a lot of time, this is very nerdy, but I spent a lot of time on Baseball Reference, and I went through every single minor league baseball team back to 1904 is the first one. So this is the Jumbo Shrimp, this is the Suns, this is the Expos, this is also like Jacksonville Jets and the Jacksonville Tars and the Jacksonville Jays. This is like way back in like the 1920s and the Great Depression and stuff like that. So it is really cool. We found there's 11 Hall of Famers who have played here at some point in Jacksonville, and some of them are inner circle Hall of Famers, right? Like Hank Aaron and Tom Seaver and Nolan Ryan. Everybody knows those names, and then there's guys that you'd have to be a really big baseball fan to know, Al Lopez or Rube Marquardt, but they're Hall of Famers nonetheless. And so it's a really amazing history. And I'd like to think that I did something productive during the pandemic when we didn't have baseball to call. But yeah, 999 players have played in Jacksonville and also in the major leagues. It's really cool.
Well, Scott, I get mad when I have to do like an hour of homework for this show. How long did that take you to find out all of those numbers and everything of those players?
This was a few weeks. So it was a few projects. So one of them was going back just to find everybody who had played in the major leagues who had played in Jacksonville at some point. And easier than it sounds, because on Baseball Reference, every major is listed. So what I was looking for was, A, who played in the majors, B, when did they play in Jacksonville, C, when was their debut. There's a few guys who had played in the 1904 and 1906 team, and they had debuted at some point in like the 1880s and didn't have the exact date. We just knew at some point in 1884 or something, they made their major league debut. But we were trying to find that exact date, obvious team that they debuted with. The other thing that we found, and I did this from 1962 to present, because it covered not just AA but AAA, knowing that we were going to be a AAA team, was we didn't have like who had the best batting average in Jacksonville history, who had the most home runs. And so it was really great, because I felt like all that hard work was very was very helpful, because last year Xavier Edwards ended up having the best batting average of any Jacksonville player, at least 1962 to present. So at least sometimes, like, I feel like some of these super nerdy things, they work out okay.
Yeah, you got a lot of stories to tell in a baseball broadcast too, and now you have a lot of references and stories. Who was prior? Gabe Kapler had one of the all-time seasons right here in Jacksonville?
He did, yeah. Gabe Kapler had one of the all-time seasons in '98. The cool thing about that is he's actually with the Marlins now. He's in their front office. So he let go by the Giants last year, and he came to the Marlins front office. So he actually was with the team in Memphis last week when we were out in Tennessee. But it was actually Vic Davalillo, 1962. He batted .346. Kapler is sixth all time. He hit .322 in 1998. But he has the best slugging percentage, the best OPS of any Jacksonville player. Runs scored, the most RBIs, 146. So, yeah, he had like this amazing dream season in 1998.
Yeah, you mentioned some of the other players, but I mean the list goes on and on. I mean, that have played here in Jacksonville, right from Randy Johnson to Alex Rodriguez to most recently Giancarlo Stanton and even Christian Yelich. Those kind of guys that came through here, and then part of the Marlins organization to get promoted. It's a heavy list. I mean, even if you don't go back some 100 years.
No doubt, yeah. You nailed all those Marlins guys, and if back even to the Dodgers, so this is just the 2000s, it's not even 20 years ago.
Yeah, Kershaw
played here.
Yeah.
Oh man, like how cool is that? And he got called up, I believe, right from here to the Dodgers, and I don't think he came back for a little bit, and then obviously he did not come back again. He was incredible. is incredible.
I'm pretty sure. I think now I don't know the whole backstory here, and maybe I'm off. Maybe I've just heard this, but I think Kershaw, when he was here, might have met his wife because I'm pretty sure she's from like Nassau County, and he still summers up there or something like that. Is from what I've heard over the years. So I'm assuming that's the. I got to get the whole story right, but yeah, Kershaw's kind of a forgotten name. Obviously, as great a career as he had, and Hall of Famer that started, but was here in Jacksonville. All right, hey, are you in the broadcast booth, Scott?
I am.
Yeah.
These are all the things my wife. These are all the things my wife does not want in our house, so they get sent to my office here. So Bob will have a bunch of baseballs like all on my desk over there. I think it's very cool. For some reason, she has very different taste to decorate a house.
And you got the baseball standings up. You gonna move those pennants around there on the wall or what?
I do. I haven't updated the standings. This is what I'm going to do after this call. I haven't updated the standings in like a week, so this is old. So don't judge by this. The Marlins are still kind of at the bottom though, so hopefully that'll change as we go
on. One last thing for you. This team has been now in AAA for a few years. You got some exciting stuff coming up, obviously, with the ballpark. We highlighted that, some $30 million being spent over like an 18-month period. But has the move to AAA been good overall?
Absolutely. In baseball, there is a difference, AA to AAA. And a lot of people had said, well, guys maybe skip AAA like Kershaw, right, in 2006. But because they also shrunk the minor leagues, you don't really see that a ton anymore because there's just fewer levels to go through. And so from a baseball perspective, I feel like the baseball is a higher level. The other factor of this has been we have rehab guys all the time here. So you are not just seeing AAA guys and guys who are getting optioned down and there's constant churn up and down AAA to the major leagues. We get pretty much every rehabber, and that included a Cy Young Award winner last year, Sandy Alcantara, who's unfortunately out for this season. But Jake Berger is a pretty solid player. He's with us right now. Braxton Garrett is a very good pitcher. He started the Oat Milkers yesterday, so it was 0-0 until he left the game. And then we had like Edward Cabrera is a really good pitcher. So in my opinion, I think you're seeing the best of the best in the minor leagues. Like if you were to look at the top prospect list, Paul Skeens is the big talk of minor league baseball right now. Indianapolis is here in about a month. I don't know if he'll be still in AAA at that time, but he's in our league. Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, they've got these arms that they're going to make an impact for the Yankees this season, and they're pitching against us this series. And then the rehab guys, like we saw Ronald Acuna play against Jacksonville. At the time it was a big deal, Wander Franco, but it's really sad how that whole thing has turned out. But like these are big stars who are playing at this level. To me, it's fantastic.
Yeah, really good stuff. And again, I'll just keep reminding people tomorrow, you got Thursday night tonight coming up. Obviously, Thursdays at the ballpark, always good, but you got 1 o'clock games tomorrow and Saturday. That's a little different for folks that go to the Jumbo Shrimp games because of the Luke Combs concert, right?
Right, yeah. How could they? Luke Combs should play during the day and we can play at night. I'm actually
Hey, good stuff. Thanks, man. Scott Kornberg, 1,000 Jacksonville to the big leagues. The countdown is on and 1 away now, so that'll be a cool milestone. Nice job with your homework assignment during the pandemic.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on. Great talking with you.
All right, man. Appreciate you. Scott Kornberg from the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp, and you can go down the ballpark as this homestand continues. Always a good time down there at 121 Financial Ballpark. Pretty cool. Jumbo Shrimp have a great history. The Suns, the Expos, all the Jacksonville baseball. Really cool history here. And he did bring. It's interesting. I grew up in Rhode Island, and from East Providence. Pawtucket, Rhode Island is right there. You guys would say Pawtucket, but it's Pawtucket. And the Pawtucket Red Sox, the Paw Sox, who now aren't there. They're actually in Worcester, which still makes me mad. But we used to go to their games all the time at AAA, and the Red Sox had that AAA team right there.
Yeah.
And then you could go right up the road 45 minutes and go to Boston. And all those guys would come down from Wade Boggs to Roger Clemens to Oil Can Boyd to this, you name it. Yeah. As a kid, you saw all those. And I think that's what Scott's talking about right now. That actually is really cool. It wasn't on my radar, but if Skeens ends up here, if he's still not in the big leagues, that'd be great to go watch Skeens play. He's been talk of baseball really the last couple of years, from college last year at LSU to now what he's doing. Like he's putting up crazy numbers at the AAA level for the Pirates.
Cool.
So I know who will be there.
Who's that?
Casey.
Yeah, no, without a doubt. It's kind of a stomping grounds.
He definitely will be there.
Man, I'm disappointed now in Family Guy because he used to call it Paw Tucket.
I know, yeah.
So shout out to Family Guy for dropping the ball.
I love the
one.
fact that Family Guy, who I didn't watch, but that's is that the Farrelly brothers who did that?
No.
Who did Family Guy?
Family Guy, it's
Seth
just
Green.
Who is it?
Seth Green.
Well, he's one of the actors in it. You're talking about the guy who actually
I mean, the guys behind
Seth
it.
MacFarlane. That's
Seth MacFarlane did Family Guy.
Is he a Rhode Island guy?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Because they got some movie guy like I thought it was the Farrelly brothers.
The Farrelly brothers did like something about Mary.
Okay,
and Kingpin
I think they're
stuff
Rhode
like that.
Island guys.
Okay,
if I'm not mistaken.
Seth MacFarlane,
Connecticut.
He's Connecticut,
but he did go to the Rhode Island School of Design.
Oh, okay, so he went to RISD, which is okay. So because there's a bunch of Rhode Island references, right?
Yes,
Pawtucket,
correct.
Quahog is an actual place in Rhode Island.
It's called Quahog?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's Quahog in the show, or whatever. It's
is that what they call it?
Yeah.
But, like, those are based off, and obviously stuffed quahogs is my favorite thing to eat.
Okay.
It's like a stuffed clam.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, like, there's a lot of reference to it. Obviously, if you grew up in Connecticut. I don't know if there are Connecticut references. I never watched the show.
Yeah.
But I hear some things from it.
There's always a lot of Connecticut references.
And there's a lot of that New England reference.
Correct.
Are you a big Family Guy?
I mean, I grew up on it. Yeah, I mean, I haven't watched like the newer seasons, but I mean, I've seen a lot of episodes.
How about you, Nick?
Yeah, same here. Kind of grew up on it. There's several really classic episodes. I remember the older stuff. I had like a PSP that had a version that you could watch a couple of episodes. There's one where they're like Dukes of Hazzard, and then there's also like a military themed episode. The really old stuff is the fun stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't watched the last couple of years though, so I don't know what it's like now.
It's funny, like when I've seen it, when I've flipped it on and watched it, or if it's just on the background, like I'll actually find myself watching it and laughing along with it and stuff. But I never got into it. What's considered better, like Family Guy or South Park?
Oh, I mean, I'm team South Park all day.
Are you?
Yeah, I love South Park. My son's 9 and he wants to get into it, but I'm like, you're still a little too young for that quite yet. But no, I mean, I'm South Park till I die, man. I love South Park.
How about you, Nick?
Family Guy.
Really?
There you go.
Is that
a generation? Yeah, because I mean, well, Nick, you weren't around when South Park first debuted, right?
When did it debut? 98?
98, maybe even earlier than that. Because I remember being like, I think 3rd or 4th grade and like making like, we had like an art class and I made like a clay thing of all the South Park characters.
Really?
Yeah.
What else is in that like genre?
Simpsons.
Is Simpsons in that genre?
More PG than
Simpsons
Family
can
Guy.
take it a little risque sometimes.
Yeah, but I don't think it pushes the boundary as much as Family Guy or
no, I mean that's
South Park does.
Yeah,
Simpsons is a little more wholesome. It's kind of like the Ted Lasso of the animated thing.
Anybody?
Oh, I mean, there's like Robot Chicken. I mean, if you talk about animated, like Robot Chicken's up there.
But Simpsons was like the original, right?
Simpsons is kind of the OG. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And still going?
Still making it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in years.
Wasn't there something recently? Was it from The Simpsons or somewhere else that predicted the Jags in the Super Bowl this year?
I think it was The Simpsons.
But hasn't The Simpsons over time predicted like a ton of stuff?
They have predicted things. There's also some memes that people make up where they say The Simpsons predicted even though they didn't.
Okay.
But yeah, the Simpsons have predicted some things.
Yeah, I don't know why. Isn't it a weird thing like in my like psyche or whatever that I never really got into? Now, Simpsons was huge when I was a kid, but I just never got into it.
Yeah.
I think I was just watching more sports on TV than at the time of my life than watching that stuff.
Sure.
And just never got in. I think it's one of those deals where it's like when you didn't get in on the ground floor, it's like you kind of like, did I miss something? Can I get back in? And whether that's true or not, you just didn't. Like, I didn't. And so I was like, okay, I'm not cool anymore, so I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I was a Simpsons junkie like as a kid, and then South Park came out and just turned it all on its head because it's like, wow, they're swearing and doing this stuff. Let me go ahead and spend my attention over here.
That's why they do feel different to me.
Yeah.
I mean, it just, but it's fascinating. And the storytelling and the writing in Simpsons has always been up there.
Of course, man.
I
mean, they're still doing it. It's childhood nostalgia. Like a lot of those. I mean, and it's not animated, but like, Pat Sajak's getting ready to walk away from Wheel of Fortune. I'm like, dude, that guy was.
Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Like when Bob Barker left, it was like, wait, what?
Okay, so one last question on this front.
Sure.
So if you're a kid now,
Yes.
and again, like Ronan's age, was he 9?
Yes.
So if maybe 11, 12, 13, whatever it is, whatever age that you would have grown up on The Simpsons or Family Guy or South Park, what are you watching now? Are you watching
YouTube videos?
Well, I know, but are you watching anime?
Yeah, I mean,
Or-
there's just so much more now than when we were kids. Like when I was a kid, we didn't have cable, so Simpsons or bust, really, you know, or else whatever's on PBS.
Because it was on Fox.
Yeah, we had Arthur on PBS, and Wishbone was a big one with the dog, little dog, Wishbone. But nowadays, man, like, anime is really big. Big City Greens is a show that a lot of kids are into.
Okay.
But like you have so much at your disposal with computers now. You can watch just a YouTube streamer. Like YouTube streamers are so big with
Well,
kids.
I get that. I get it. But what I was thinking of is like, is anime a kid's thing or is it more adult?
Both.
It is both?
Both, yeah.
Okay. Because, like, honestly, The Simpsons was like a first of its kind, or Family Guy, South Park. Like, I don't think that impresses the kids anymore. The animation, like, that's normal life for them.
Well, no,
and that's why I wonder if anime took it to like a new level.
So here's the wild thing with that, because I always talk about Minecraft. Like, Minecraft set video games and animation back 30, 40 years. But like Minecraft's one of the biggest games for whatever reason. For whatever reason, kids like, I don't speak for all kids, but like at least from my son's perspective, like the animation, like the futuristic stuff doesn't really do a lot. It's more of just like the story and if it's the cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Like I don't get Minecraft. I played Minecraft before. I don't understand it, but it's not for me.
Yeah, you'd think the kids today would have to be turned on to these unbelievable graphics and like next level stuff. And that's very simplistic.
It's the most simplistic. It's 8-bit, you know? It's like just blocks. And I told my son, I'm like, if you want to play Minecraft, I'll get my old Nintendo out and we can just really have a ball.
That's cool,
you know?
though.
No,
I think that is
Retro,
cool that it kind of still impacts them in that way. All right, take a time out. We come back. We talk some more football. Great to visit with Scott Kornberg and the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp as they get ready for a milestone. The Jacksonville Iceman lost their Game 7, so some disappointment for the Iceman last night. And really a lot of disappointment. I mean, that was kind of a collapse. They're up 3-1.
Those Everblades.
And those Everblades, you know, we talked to a bunch of the guys. I mean, that has to sting. That could sting for a while. They've now been bounced out 3 years in a row by the Florida Everblades. Hey, Jackson, they're better than Southwest Florida. We got to beat those guys.
Do you think if you're the Iceman going forward, do you want to see the Everblades go to the final and win the whole thing, or do you think them lose next round?
I think they probably want to see them lose. I think they hate them.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make – they did that the last couple of years. It doesn't make you feel any better. This one, again, is going to sting. I mean, you remember we had Alex Reed on. He said 9 out of the 12 goals had been scored in the second.
Yes.
It happened again yesterday. They scored all 4 goals in the second. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Very disappointing for the Jacksonville Icemen. They'll bounce back. They had a heck of a season on the ice and a heck of a season in the stands with the attendance. We're going to get ourselves a Kelly Cup around here and get by those Everblades sooner or later. In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jax team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
Soccer season is back in Northeast Florida with the return of the Jacksonville Armada under-23 men's team. The boys in blue kick off the National Premier Soccer League season on the road Saturday, May 4th at Naples United FC, with all eyes on the home opener May 11th against Global Soccer Pathways. All home games in the 2024 regular season will be played at Southern Oak Stadium on the campus of Jacksonville University. with fans able to secure their tickets at JacksonvilleArmada.com. New this summer, the Fleet has added an under-23 women's team competing in the WPSL. That season starts on the road on May 18th, with their home opener May 25th, also at Jacksonville University. To learn more on the Armada's recent partnership announcement with Jacksonville FC and the MLS Next program, as well as a fun collaboration with Ruby Beach Brewing, be sure to follow the Fleet on social media at JacksArmada FC.
What a week for the UNF Ospreys, swooping to some championships. Men's tennis last week, and over the weekend, it was beach volleyball celebrating a title. The Ospreys men's golf team is headed to the NCAA regionals as well, and the River City Rumble is in the books for the 2023-2024 athletic year. And the Ospreys are keeping the barrel. A lot to follow heading into May. You can do that at UNFOspreys.com for news, schedules, results, and more. UNFOspreys.com.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you, and you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room, a full bar and menu, my favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one-card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One-card poker is like war as a kid, you against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part? They did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Zay Jones saying a big thank you to the city of Jacksonville and everybody else inside the organization. These are tough times, I think, when a player likes being in a certain spot. I was thinking about that. When it comes to Zay, there was a lot of love for Zay on social media. Trevor and everybody else, Christian Kirk and others chimed in. Zay's a cool guy. Like, this one part we didn't talk about the other day. Zay, I thought, was really a neat guy to engage with, an interview with. And there's just a couple of instances at various times, especially in 2022, because 2023 was an adverse year for Zay Jones on and off the field. But 2022, like, there were just these moments. I remember one time in Kansas City when they lost and they got to 3-7 before they go on that run. And Christian Kirk was like, "Hey, we still believe." And I'm like, "Yeah, right." And you know, and then you ask Zay, and I remember asking Zay, I can visualize right where we were. It's like, "Hey, did you guys get brought in here to not only like help the team win, but for times like these, like veteran presence, for times like these around a young quarterback, around a young football team?" and he was like, he said something like, yeah, that's a really good way to look at it. Or it's like something like that. And he's very thoughtful like that. He's a very good listener. And if he didn't understand the question or wanted a little bit more time to consume the question, he would ask you to say it again or some clarification. He wasn't just answering. Like, he genuinely answered your question and took the time to answer it. And was a very good answer a lot of times, deep. There was a lot of depth there. Which was, I just always appreciated that. I hadn't interviewed too many guys like that over the years that every time, you could tell, man, he was consuming every word of what you were saying.
Yeah.
And you've been asked a lot of questions over time.
But usually with a player, it's just kind of like the basic run-of-the-mill, like, it feels good. But like,
I get the gist of what you're asking. I'll just take it this way, right?
But you can tell when someone puts the time and effort to really digest the question and then come up with a really good articulate response.
Yeah, and he was that. I mean, he really was. And one of the few guys, as I say that out loud, I'm like trying to think of other guys in my career that would at least respond or answer the question the way he did. And I'm not saying nobody did. A lot of people are very good at it. I mean, it's a tough thing to do, is to answer questions sometimes. But again, it wasn't like there was a time clock on it. A lot of times when you're interviewing players, you have a limited amount of time. Or after a game, you're trying to get like 6, 7 guys. Or they don't feel like they want to have the time. They're going to go shower. They're going to go do this. They're in an emotional state coming off a game. It was like there was no shot clock when you interviewed Zay Jones, which was really cool.
And to me, that's an important thing that a lot of young guys should look at when they look at how do you handle yourself in interviews, how do you handle yourself in post-game press conferences, because that's when you're at your most vulnerable, right? Is after a loss, maybe you had a bad game. And instead of getting time to decompress and really gather your thoughts, guess what? Here's a microphone in your face. Here's Brent Martineau coming down the hall.
Yeah.
Ask about Doug Peterson calling the plays or not. So like as a player, look at what Zay Jones does. Look at how he takes his time, digests it a little bit, and then, regurgitates with the correct answer. Because a lot of guys, and it's not their fault they get caught in the emotion, we'll give you a sound bite. We'll say something because they get caught in the moment. They get kind of caught off guard a little bit. They don't have time to gather their thoughts because it's almost like an internal shot clock goes off in your mind after a game, right? Where it's like, all right, you asked me a question. All right, I got to answer it as fast as possible.
It is true.
Don't always have to do that.
And that's, by
take
the way,
your time, take a breath, and think about it.
That happens to the media too. Like there's shot clocks in our head. Like sometimes you feel rushed. Like, okay, I feel like somebody's like coming around the corner and going to tell us, okay, you've been doing this too long, right?
Yeah.
We do that. Remember we had Josh Allen on from Best Bet a couple weeks ago, and it was like, all right, this might be getting longer than we like. Usually you feel about a 10, 12-minute interview, you have him on, and that was going like 15, 18, 20 minutes. In my mind, I'm like, okay, we got to get him off. Right? Yeah. That's just natural stuff. And so I'll give you another guy that was really is Chris Conley was really like this too. Like he really consumed and his responses were so eloquent. Zay kind of reminded me a different way, but also had some similarities. Like Chris Conley went through the whole time when it was the pandemic, Black Lives Matter. There were a lot of heavy questions being asked around the National Football League at that time. My guess is if you asked Zay Jones around that time, he would have been very good.
Yeah.
Very thoughtful.
Well, wasn't Chris Conley kind of like the spokesperson during that whole Black Lives Matter stuff? Like, wasn't he kind of like the self-appointed guy? Yeah.
But it wasn't just that. It was always like we had him out Top Golf on our show. I mean, everyone still like kind of raves about how he answered questions. So I was thinking about that with Zay, and like I know those guys had good relationships with Zay Jones. Like that is so. I have two thoughts, and one's probably more dynamic than the other. I don't think fans care about this stuff at all. But I kind of do. I see these guys more human sometimes than I feel like maybe the fans do. I think the fans like to see them as humans, but also they like to score touchdowns, win football games at the end of the day.
Yes.
We see a little glimpse of their human side at different times, maybe being closer to it than even the fan. Although I always say, and this is kind of cliche in our business, you don't pretend to know who they are, right? Or you just get small doses of a lot of the players. But I think about this in Zay's case. He comes over here to help win. He comes over here to help develop Trevor Lawrence, to turn the culture. They win in year one. He has an up and down and tough year two. And you look at this football team, and it looks like it's going somewhere right now. Like, I feel like it is. I mean, some could argue, but I think it's in a very good spot. And I think inside the building, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and others feel like it's going somewhere. Like, they have built a good thing, and now they got to go get it done on the field. So you wonder how a guy like Zay feels not being a part of it now.
Oh, it kills at you. It's the worst. To me, I would compare it to being like on the IR, on a roster, and like maybe you're getting a paycheck, and obviously Zay Jones now will get a paycheck someplace else, but you're getting the paycheck, but you're not in those meetings. You're not feeling the camaraderie. You don't feel like you're part of the team. And to say that, okay, I helped lay the foundation, at least in my eyes when I played, wasn't enough. It's you want to be there as a competitor, as an athlete, to see it through.
Yeah.
And it's sad when you can't.
Yeah, like obviously they only have so many spots, and it's an economic game, and he's going to be fine monetarily, and he'll go play. But I do think what you just said actually maybe is the best way to say it. You help lay the foundation. Now can you see it through? Like if this team were to go on a run and win a Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl, like a guy like Zay Jones is like, damn, man. Like I even think his teammates would be like, damn, man, we wish you were a part of this. You were a part of this, right? So I kind of feel in that respect. And I also think at the same time, they'll be rooting these guys on to do that.
Yeah. Now Zay Jones goes to the Chiefs, and we're
that's
fine.
a different story.
Yeah.
It can be, like
Jacksonville who?
Okay, so that's a great example. Like Arden Key not being a part of it doesn't have the same ring as Zay Jones not being a part of it. And Arden Key might have helped lay a little bit of the foundation, but he also was the guy in front of a microphone quickly in Nashville. Is like, they did me dirty, and let's go beat them. Right?
For sure.
So it takes there's some guys that it works with, and some guys it doesn't. Like even Calais, if they had gone on and won, Calais had done a great job and helped build the foundation, helped change the culture over time. But he was also going to a spot where he might have a chance to go win a Super Bowl. Like it was almost more advantageous for him. So
it wasn't his choice. Obviously it wasn't his choice.
Yeah, not really.
Really his choice. Then I was like, Clay, please come back.
All right, so here's where I want to go with the Zay. One thing that we didn't talk about the other day. How much do you think a guy like Zay Jones, and Christian Kirk's in here, and Evan Ingram's in here, and others, how much have they had a role in the development of Trevor Lawrence and where he is today as a football player, as a young man in the NFL, as a CEO of this organization, as a guy who might be on the verge of getting a big contract and hopefully going to be the quarterback around here for a long, long time? How much do players have a say in that, and specifically the ones they brought in to be better around him?
I mean, he has a lot of say because really quarterback and wide receiver, like it goes hand in hand, right? Like if you're a quarterback, you're only as good as your wide receivers will allow you to be. So when we have those conversations, I think guys like Zay Jones have had a major influence on Trevor Lawrence, not only in terms of the on-the-field stuff, obviously, but also how to conduct yourself off the field.
Yeah. I think there's a little bit of that, right? I mean, you talk about like an Aaron Campman, guys like that influence that stay with you. So I think, is it more that than the actual skill set of playing the quarterback position? Like Campman didn't help you. Campman might have given you like moves, right, or taught you a new thing to add to your repertoire from that standpoint. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think about from a quarterback. Quarterback's different than any other position in this sense,
of course.
But how much did Zay, from a playbook standpoint, how much could he have impacted from a route tree, from a learning what the receiver's all about, right? Like, it's different if you're coming in with, let's just take like a Blake Bortles and when he came in with Marquise Lee and Allen Robinson and guys like that. Young guys still trying to figure it out and learn. Okay. Well, what Trevor had over the last couple of years, especially once he got a real coach in Doug Peterson too to help him, is he got guys that have been around it. Christian Kirk had been around Larry Fitzgerald. Evan Ingram had been in the league for 4 or 5 years. And now you got a Zay Jones who'd been around a bunch of different guys who'd been in the league for a bit. To me, he helps you watch film, read the playbook, learn the route tree, learn what I'm trying to accomplish as a receiver and you're trying to accomplish. A lot of those little nuanced things, I got to believe.
I mean, you have to believe because when you're a young quarterback, you need all this help. Like, regardless if you're Caleb Williams, Trevor Lawrence, or you're Brock Purdy, like when you come in the league, you don't know. Okay, it's just it's worldly different. So that's on your players to kind of pull you along a little bit and show, hey, this is what we do. This is how things go, and the wide receivers do that. I mean, look at Allen Lazard. was an afterthought in Jacksonville, was just a number in Jacksonville. Goes with a great quarterback who had some experience then to Green Bay, and look what he did.
Yeah.
You know? Now, you can say he's a good wide receiver or not. It doesn't really matter. I mean, he had great success with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, and is he still in New York now? Do we know where he's at? Whatever. But nevertheless.
He is still there.
Still in New York, yeah. So it goes to show you, like, when you have an experienced quarterback, yeah, then things are a lot easier and you can elevate the wide receivers. But when you have a young quarterback, I think it's the wide receiver's job to elevate the quarterback.
That's good. Yeah, and that's where I was getting at. I think that's pretty interesting part of it. Hey, let's take a time out here on the Brent Austen Show, and we come back, talk a little more football. See the Marvin Harris and stuff with the jersey? I find part of it a little interesting, and we'll explain it to you if you haven't seen what is going on there. The Brent Austen Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Hey, just around the corner, by the way, lunchtime, Donato's Pizza. Use the code BRENT20, save 20% off. Pizza at Donato's in Mandarin and Jax Beach. Maybe the Fleming Island girls should have a pizza party. They won the district championship last night for the first time in school history. Congratulations to all of them for getting the win, 8-1 over Clay. On to the state tournament next week for the Fleming Island girls softball team. Get a pizza party going at Donato's. Brent20 is the code. You can use it anytime, anywhere, Mandarin and in Jax Beach. I like to say everybody has a story, and sometimes we're a part of other people's stories. That's the case here at Nimnicht Buick GMC. My family and the Nimnicht family. We've purchased 6 different vehicles from Nimnicht Buick GMC. Maybe you're in the market for a truck. Well, let me tell you about the GMC Sierra. I absolutely love mine. I've had a couple of these. This one's a 2020, but right now on 2024 GMC Sierras here at Nimnicht Buick GMC, there's special financing. A year ago, we purchased a GMC Terrain for the kids. Financing rates as low as 0.9% for eligible buyers on Terrains and no payments for 90 days. Looking for used instead of new? Buy a used car with the Car Bravo program. Nimnicht Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Let the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville take care of you and your family. Come on out and see the showroom, meet the fantastic people, or shop online at nimnichtbuickgmc.com. Nimnicht, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
What started out as better people, better projects just keeps getting, well, better. That's Better Exterior Solutions, ready to help you create a better outdoor experience. Check this out. Motorized pergolas are the latest in technology to transform your outdoor space. Beautiful day? Let the sun shine through. Summer rainstorm? These pergola systems close automatically to keep the weather out. From residential to commercial uses, Better Exterior Solutions has products customized to meet virtually any existing architectural structure. With retractable awnings, screens, and hurricane shutters too, if you want unparalleled quality and expertise, you need Better Exterior Solutions. Get a free estimate by visiting betterexteriors.com or calling 904-902-4999. Better Exterior Solutions. Experience better.
Discover how good your water can be with a new Connecticut softener and drinking water system. Connecticut's twin tank non-electric softeners are the most efficient softeners available, and their drinking water systems remove up to 99% of contaminants. We know that at our home. You can find out as well. Right now, you can save $1,000 or more when you bundle the Connecticut Premier Softener with a Connecticut K5 drinking water system. The experts at CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing will test your water for free and determine your water score. Don't know your water score? Well, CGC will find out and recommend the appropriate Connecticut water treatment solutions to improve it. The higher your water score, the better your water. Call 904-552-1242 or visit cgcwater.com. That's 904-552-1242, cgcwater.com. Financing options are available with approved credit. CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm a proud customer of CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing, an authorized independent Connecticut dealer. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
It's the fishing tournament everyone wants to get in, and it's time for you to register. More than 650 boats entered last summer in the Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout presented by Yellowfin. Mark the calendar now, June 8th. This is fun for the entire family, and everyone has a chance to win big. Limited boundaries, no bait buying, no checkout. cash prizes for the top 25 places, cash prizes for the top 10 lady anglers, and prizes for the top 15 junior anglers. The grand prize, this yellowfin bay boat with a 200 horsepower Yamaha and Ameritrail trailer. The value, over $100,000. It's the Daly's Old School Kingfish Shootout. Early entry until the end of May is open and $250. If you don't catch the big one, don't worry. Just catch any size kingfish and have a chance to win $10,000 with the Nimnik Lucky Ticket. OldSchoolKingfish.com. Register early until May 31st at OldSchoolKingfish.com.
New to town or always been in town? Everyone is always looking for a good pizza place. Our place is Donato's Pizza. We love it and still do love it. When I tell my family I'm coming to Donato's, they say, wait a minute, you got to order some for us. So this is not all for me. Let me tell you what the Martinos get when we put an order in. Well, pepperoni pizza, we usually get more than one of these. And then there's the works, a little bit of everything. And then this is the pizza that can be polarizing for some out there. I don't know why. Hawaiian pizza, some love it, some don't. At Donato's, you're going to love it, especially with that cinnamon sprinkled on top. Try the pizza my family likes or try your favorite. Right now, you can use the code Brent20 and get 20% off your order. Every viewer and listener is important to us, and at Donato's Pizza, every piece is important. From fresh ingredients to the dedicated team members and you, the valued customer. Donato's Pizza, where every piece comes together for a winning combination. Jax Beach and Mandarin locations. Donato's Pizza. Every piece is important.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hi, welcome back here in the Action Sports Jax 24/7 studios. The network is alive and running, and we're excited to have it. You can check everything out on ActionNewsJax.com and the Action News Jax app. Don't forget, tomorrow, we're down at Best Bet St. Augustine. Is anybody going to show up?
I hope so.
You are.
I'll be there.
We'll be there.
Steph going to be there for her birthday?
Nope.
Oh.
She's got to go. The kids are getting some kind of awards or something like that. I cannot go into that.
There you go. Don't know no kind of awards?
Nope.
Is it like a school presentation? Don't know. Okay, whatever. All right.
I mean,
sorry.
it's something.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
I have no idea. Steph was like, "You're going, right?" I was like, "No, we have live on location at Best Bet St. Augustine. We're having a live audience. We're having a brunch with Brent and Austen." I was like, "If you guys want to come down, you can join us."
Yeah.
Skip the
celebrate the awards.
School assembly or whatever.
School assembly? A little PSA, yeah.
But yeah, I have no idea. I don't know if they're getting anything or they could get something or what.
Okay.
I know they could win district championships tonight, so let's worry about that.
Let's get it.
Yeah.
By the way, did you guys have prom or anything? You guys do prom, homecoming?
Yeah, the kids did prom.
How was that?
Well, Kaylee did prom.
Okay.
Ty did not. Ty went and played golf.
Nice.
Yeah.
Prom was good?
I guess, yeah.
Okay. I mean,
the kids don't really go to prom for long anymore. It doesn't seem
it's
like
not
it.
Okay.
They take pictures, get dressed up. That part's fun. I think they go to prom for an hour.
Okay.
And then they go hang out.
There's no pranks or anything that you were a part of?
Not my
your
kids.
House,
I mean, I'm sure there's
toilet
stuff.
paper. I'm saying your house didn't get toilet paper or anything?
No,
okay.
the one thing that we always worry about because they're in baseball, softball season, less worry about my kids, and not to say I should be worried about anybody else's kids, but you do worry about anybody on the team doing something stupid and getting suspended.
Oh, yeah.
Because prom is right before the final week of the regular season.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, hope nothing happens.
Yeah, because we had homecoming during football season, and that was always
it's a dangerous time
when you're up to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Those coaches are sitting there like, yee, what are we getting? Hope I don't get a call.
Yep, it was always from our coach. It was don't be gallivanting the countryside.
Don't be gallivanting.
Yeah.
In Iola, Scandinavia, Wisconsin, is there anything to do other than gallivant the countryside?
Oh, that's all you do in Wisconsin, man, is you gallivant your butt off. That's what we did.
Hey, so anyway, Best Bet St. Augustine tomorrow, 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Doors open right at 10. We're doing the brunch part about 11, so you don't have to show up right at 10, but get some free gifts and also have some big prizes. It should be a lot of fun. So hopefully you can come on down, stop in, live audience. You can ask questions. Steve Boston, if you want to be heard, you can come on down to Best Bet St. Augustine. We'll give you a mic, even though you can't call into the show. I know you get mad about that. But stop by, exit 311, St. Augustine tomorrow. Best Bet St. Augustine. We're on the road a couple times next week, including at Furniture Source in the Avenues Mall on Thursday and then String Sports Brewery on Friday. So taking the show on the road quite a bit. We like doing that. All right, hey, speaking of none of those places, by the way, but I've been at restaurants twice in the last 3 weeks.
Okay.
That I guess close at 10 o'clock. One of them, I was like, why are you even closing at 10 o'clock? It's like Friday night. Didn't feel like a place that would close at 10. But anyway, they close at 10. Did you ever work in a restaurant?
Never.
Nick, have you ever worked in a restaurant?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either, so I don't know the answer. But if you work, if the restaurant closes at 10,
okay,
what time are you really working till? Because when you go into a restaurant, they close at 10. Do you order until 10?
Oh no. I mean, I feel okay. So if a restaurant closes at 10, I'll order by 9:30, or else I'm not going to order.
Yeah, sometimes they'll say the kitchen's closing, so you got to get the orders in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. The kitchen part is going to close at some point. I think we're used to that.
Of course.
Well, these last 2 times I've been out,
there we go.
It's not just you get the order in time.
Gonna go ahead and put my seat back in recline position for this. Go ahead, Brent.
But I'm busting the table to get the other folks out of there by 10. It's we're still there. You said you're open till 10. I can sit past 10. You didn't say you got to be out of the restaurant by 10.
Brent. Okay. So you're saying you have an issue where if a restaurant closes at 10 and you're still there at 10, you feel like it's your civic rule where you can stay in there past 10.
Yeah.
Get out of no.
No, this isn't a nightclub.
No. Brent. No.
If you work in a restaurant, there's no way you think the last person is leaving the restaurant by 10 o'clock. That's not how it works.
If I work in a restaurant and we close by 10, I expect the place to be cleared out by 10.
No way.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
It doesn't happen.
But who's the audacity of okay, so say you go, okay, if it closes at 10, what are you pulling out at 9:55?
No, listen, both of these instances were there at 9:15, 9:20.
Okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So you're getting your food at 9, I think the restaurant
9:40.
9:40.
No, that's fair. Okay. 20 minutes to eat. Get in, get out. Let's go.
20 minutes to eat?
Yeah, that's plenty of time to eat.
That's plenty of time to eat.
I'm
not even done with stuff, and they're clearing my plate away. And the one place I had to there were 8 of us, so you got a bigger party. And then you also they're reaching. I'm busting the table for the one place, and they're reaching over another booth to get stuff. And it's totally just so the kids. It's the younger people in there can get out. There are other people that are staying there till 11. I got to believe if you work at a restaurant and you close at 10, you're not leaving until 10:30, 11 o'clock.
But you got to keep in mind it's a restaurant, so they have to not only clear your plates, but they have to sweep the floors and clean the tables.
Yeah. I don't even mind them doing some of that stuff.
Okay, but also your table as well. So there's a big process that they have to wait for until you're done. So they're trying to get you out of there so they can do that process and get out and enjoy the rest of their evening. It's dude, okay, if you're in Target and Target closes at 10, you gonna be in there until 10:20?
Well, I do think that's a fair question. I think
it's so fair. Yes,
they say I think the Targets and Walmarts of the world. I feel like I've been in there late. Well, I don't even know. If
I don't
those
Walmart closes.
But when they did, or places like that, they'd be like, hey, they'll make a call. Get to your register or whatever else, right?
Yeah.
And so, you might be at the register paying at 10. You're probably still not allowed to shop at 10.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel like that's a little bit different. When do they do last call? If a bar is open till 1 or 12, take the food out of it for a second.
Okay, so if a bar's open till 1, go ahead. Yep.
When's last call? 15 minutes prior?
I would say, the ones that I've been on, the beach bars, it's usually, sometimes they go 30 minutes last call.
30 minutes early?
Yeah.
But they're not kicking you out of there at 1 o'clock.
They usually are, Brent.
Are they?
Yeah. Yes. Well, the bar closes around here, I think, around 2. But yeah, because it's actually illegal.
Out the door?
Yeah, but it's illegal if they serve you past that time.
I know serving. I'm saying you can, if you ordered it at the last call, 50 minutes, and you're still sipping on it, they kicking you out?
Yeah, they're kicking you out.
They will.
Yeah, they turn the lights on and say, come on, guys, it's time to go. Don't look at the chats for help. I'm telling you how it is.
What's the chat saying?
I don't even know. Restaurant workers hate these people.
I know.
Yeah, you think? People. Yeah, they hate Brent Martineau. I'm trying to help you out,
listen,
man.
I get the restaurant worker hates those people. I fully understand it, and I'm okay with that. No, I'm okay with that. But to my point would be then close at 9:45 or 9 if you want your worker out of there by 10.
Because if you close then you're hurting like the delivery sales and stuff too as well. Like 10 o'clock's a nice even.
I've been going out to eat a lot. Okay, we don't cook in very often in my life.
I've realized this. Yes.
All right.
Yes.
This has happened twice to me in the last 3 weeks where I'm literally like, they are taking the stuff away when there's still stuff on the table.
And to be fair, man, and I get your schedule, 10 o'clock's a little ridiculous to eat dinner anyways, though. You know? Little late.
That's like 6 o'clock for me.
Okay, but I'm saying little late.
I've never experienced it like the last few weeks.
Okay. Kids Corner.
And by the way, this one, I will say this. So we leave
at
this
night
one,
now.
This girl, this one girl, last time, the other night, it was like totally to go see like her boyfriend. She was like, her boyfriend's waiting in the parking lot.
Yeah.
She's like a younger kid. Like, I get it. Like, all that's. We were joking. We're like, she probably had a curfew at like 11.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm going to hang out with my boyfriend for the 50
but it's
minutes.
not even about, like, listen, you got to show some respect for the service industry people, okay? Because it's not like the most glorious job. It can be a very stressful job. And, like, you're not doing them, okay, but you're not doing them any kind of help if you want to say, hey, I'm going to stay here till 10:05 or 10:10 because I'm a paying customer. It's helping each other out, man. Yeah. I know. You don't care. I know. Courtesy is just something that's lost on you.
But this is what I would, no, it's not like, this is what I would say. I would say then stop the kitchen even earlier and make the last call even earlier, because then you can't have food left on your table. Like, some people eat slower, some people are talking, some people, whatever you get it or your drink, like, then don't allow, if you really want them out at 10, then just make that move up time even earlier is what I would say.
But if they say they're closed at 10, then they're closed at 10.
Yeah, that's just not the way. If you're a restaurant and you're still like, if you serve me at 9:35, you can't assume that I'm going to be done and paid and out of there by 10 o'clock.
So if you're sitting in there and it's 10:05, you don't feel awkward about it? Because I feel horrible. Like, if I go to a restaurant and they close at 10 and it's like 9:30, I'm even like, let me just get it to go. Like, I'm not going to eat there because I feel bad. It's the service industry, man. The service industry sucks.
I get the service industry sucks. But like, Ty works at a golf course, and Z Fortner is saying this too. He worked at the Golfplex. We closed at a certain time, but I would stop selling range balls like 30 minutes before that. Ty works at Southampton, and like, when the sun goes down, like, they're still there another hour and a half later because they're cleaning carts and everything else. They didn't tell them to bring the carts in an hour and a half early before the sun goes down so they could be out by the time the sun goes down. They're working in the darkness.
Yeah.
Like, it's part of the gig.
Yeah.
I just think, like, if you work at a restaurant, again, I haven't worked in a restaurant, but if you work in a restaurant, I always felt like if they say they're served till 10 or they're open till 10 or their kitchen's open till whenever, then you're just going to be there later.
Nick in the daytime, call you Nick at night now. If you go to a restaurant and they close by 10, are you getting there by 9:45 and staying until like 10:05 or 10:10?
Yeah.
It's
a mutual. All right, it's a mutual respect thing. Like, if they're cleaning up and they make food, like, I'm not going to create a mess. They're going to clean up around me. They're going to get the restaurant buttoned up and whatnot. I'll eat my food and be done, not leave like a huge mess. It's a mutual respect thing. You're like good to the employee. If they're good to you, you tip, you be nice. You just be a respectful human if they still serve you. I mean,
I think you're being a respectful human by saying, hey, I'm not going to stay past 10 o'clock. But
well, if you only stay till like 10 or 10:10, that's not like the end of the world. If you stayed at 10:45, that's a different story.
Well, that would be a different story.
That's a different
exactly.
story.
Robert said, he's like, when someone would order last minute, it used to suck. I get it. Like, I understand that. Like, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm not even going to the comments here. I'm saying that, and I know, I guess I'm alone here, but I think that if the place closes at 10, you leave by like 9:45 or 9:50. Just out of courtessy.
That is interesting.
Yeah, just out of courtesy, man. I'm trying to help people out. Like, I'm not trying to.
You're going to give me new perspective on this, though. I thought if you're open till 10,
you're open till 10.
You're serving till 10, and really that you're from a worker standpoint, you're planning on being there till like 11. Like, that's the way I've always kind of interpreted it.
Is it serving or open? Because if you say that you're open till 10, that's different than serving till 10.
Yeah, I don't. well, I don't know if I see too many distinctions on that. Now, what will happen is a lot of times be that when you get in there at a 9 or 9:15 or something, they'll say, hey, the kitchen's closing in 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Right, or 15 minutes. You get that. Like that makes sense to me. I don't know why that's so normal to me. Like the kitchen close, that doesn't bother me at all. The kitchen closing, I get it. They tell you all that stuff. Makes perfect sense. But the out time, I always, like I never, and maybe, again, this is just an assumption. Maybe it's a bad assumption. I never thought that if you closed at 10 o'clock at a restaurant, that you're like, chairs up, see you later, we're following you out the door.
I can't believe you guys have the audacity to just sit in there while they're cleaning up. Like, I would feel so awkward. I'd be like, man, I'm making your job harder. My bad. Man.
It's some of these, I will give you this. This is why I feel this way a little bit, is because these last two instances where this happened, there's some food being served, of course. But it's like a bar too. It's kind of that mix, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, well, like we're finishing the drink up.
Is anybody else in there?
Yeah, there was some. I mean, not a lot. I mean, we were helping close the place down. I will admit that.
Okay.
I'll admit that. So, but anyway, I'm a little surprised by your answers. And
no, he's with Nick in the daytimes with you.
Here's the other thing. This is going to be total get off my lawn, and I'm not a pick on the younger generation thing, but this is totally, these last two times, been like kid driven. This is not like there are older people in the restaurant. Yeah. They're not doing this, but the kids are like,
kids are trying to get out. No, I hear you. Yeah. I hear you.
Now, maybe their shift, this might be more like how they're hired. Their shift might say, you're out at 10.
Well, yeah, maybe you don't get paid extra.
Right?
Things like that.
And maybe that's a thing. Like, I don't know if that's a thing or not.
Man, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read the comments.
Brent, I want you to look at the mic for 30 minutes after the show for no reason. There would be a reason. By the way, there's plenty of work that gets done after the show.
I can't believe this is, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I don't know why it wasn't just bothering me.
Was it bothering Steph, or who else is bothering you? Some friends?
The other people we're with.
Okay.
And I'm like, I will say this too. Like, I'm not bad restaurant guy. Like,
I'm not gonna lie, you're sounding like
I'm
it.
Not.
Okay.
I'm not complaining restaurant guy.
Okay.
Hey, my food comes out cold. I'll eat it. Won't complain. My food comes out a different way. I don't care.
But I'm gonna wait there an extra 20 minutes when you close.
I have never in my life in a restaurant. I've eaten in a restaurant a long time. Never returned like my meal or anything.
Okay.
In fact, it used to drive me nuts. It still drives me nuts when I'm with people. But my dad was a little bit more like,
send it back.
Oh yeah. I'm like, what are we doing here? Like, come on. Like, I just wasn't that guy, and I hated it. It made me uncomfortable.
Sure.
And so, and the part of this is I'm not picky at all or anything like that. And by the way, I also can see, like, if your food's cold or wrong, like, it is a service business. Mm-hmm. So, like, I see why people do it. You're paying something. But I just don't do it. I've never done it. Doesn't bother me. Yeah. And so, like, I'm not that guy in a restaurant. Like, I really am not. Never have been.
Yeah.
But I will say, like, these last couple of times, I was like, what are we doing here? It's not like I've never closed down a place either.
Okay. No, listen, I've closed down many places. More bars than restaurants.
I'll give you another one that happened to me, too.
Here we go.
This happened in Augusta. This one really pissed me off.
Okay, first of all, don't bring it up Augusta. I'm going to have any realm of that life. Okay, go ahead.
Weber knows it. Okay, we're with it.
Okay.
So this is another one we're going in kind of late because we're after the work day or whatever, which, by the way, if you're Masters Week, this wasn't in Augusta. This was actually in Aiken. Like, why wouldn't you just stay open late during those times? Like, you've got a crowd, more people than ever are in your town. But anyway, we go in. I forget what time it was. And this is another one, bar, kind of, the hostess says, hey, if you don't mind, can you sit at the bar? They have a menu too.
Sure.
So I'm thinking, okay, yeah, they'd rather us sit there than the table.
Trying to clean the tables off, right?
And now this place was kind of packed at the time, but they're trying to start that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Go get a drink at the bar.
Mm-hmm.
Go get ready to order. Like, kitchen closed like 20 minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Some miscommunication.
Come on, hostess.
Oh, jeez.
Tell us. We're sitting there having a drink. We can't even eat.
Oh,
we had to go to another place.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
so
obviously,
I'm just having, like, maybe I'm just getting old. Maybe I'm getting old.
I mean, I don't know, man. We talked about what's up with high heels today, and now we're talking about how
this is real life stuff
for you.
Yeah, for all of us.
This is fantasy land for me. I don't question heels. I don't wonder why women wear heels. I encourage it. Do your thing. I don't think I'm in a restaurant at 10:10 when it closes at 10 o'clock thinking, get my money's worth. I'm going to get my time. No, man. I'm trying to help.
To finish the beer.
I'm trying to help. Yeah, but like, man, we're just trying to. Brent, without getting like too preachy here, all right? We're on this rock floating through space, okay? And the thing I'm trying to do is help out people who sometimes maybe need it. And you know what? If I go there at 9:35 or 9:40 and my meal comes out, and guess what? It's 10 o'clock and they're closing, then you know what? I'm going to eat a little faster, or I'm going to get it to go because they got other things to do with their life as well, because being in the service industry, it's not the most thankful job, okay? You get a lot of crap sometimes. So I'm going to help these people out and say, you know what? You guys close at 10. I'll take my food. I'll be on my way. I'm not going to try to buck the establishment. I'm not going to try to create anarchy in the middle of a restaurant/bar because, well, this isn't, you guys said 10. No. Just let them work. Let them go about their day, and it'll all be all right.
It's
also, don't eat dinner at 10 o'clock.
I have respect for the server. It's called a tip. Very good one, usually. Like a good tipper.
Coming at 15%? Yeah.
No. Or like 25%.
Yeah.
Even if you suck.
Good. All right.
Still tip well.
Welcome back. It's good to have you back on the team.
So that's how I don't care if you get out at 10:05 or 10:30. Why should I care what time you get out? I just thought
people have things to do.
Well, then fine. When I start sitting down at a restaurant and it's late, I want to know what your hours you're off the clock, and then I'll be more aware of it.
Brent, if they close at 10, they close at 10, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, our show's done at 1. It's times.
Robert, more than 20% tipper, by the way.
Good.
And if we're going to get into tipping, we'll save that for another show on a summer day.
I just can't believe I'm outnumbered. Like, man, because we had the kids corner represented.
Like the chat, like Robert's really sticking up for the restaurateur.
I don't have time to look at the chat. I'm just saying from you, who's older than I am, and then we have Nick in the daytime, who is younger than I am. I'm in the middle, and we have the youth, and we have the elderly. We have the youth and elderly, and both you guys are in the same boat where it's like, forget the workers, man. We're staying till 10:20. Who cares?
I suggest now putting in the fine print on a menu. We will close the kitchen at 9:15, and we want you out in your car by 10.
Brent, when you go to the next restaurant you go to, restaurant/bar, whatever you go to, I want you to look at the door, okay? It's going to say open and close. Look at that second number. It could say 9-00, it could be 10-0, whatever the case may be. Look at those numbers and abide by those numbers. When that number matches the number on your cell phone, then it's time to go. Okay? I don't know how to...
You might be right.
I might be.
But I've never consumed it that way.
We'll eat it up, consume it, digest it, do what you got to do, man, because...
I can't lie to you, but I feel like I should be able to order at 9:59 if it said 10.
Oh, man. I can't wait to lose all
and maybe that's a problem, Nick.
We're going to lose all our restaurant endorsements because
it doesn't say closed. It just says 4 to 10. Nobody on the door says closed. They say closed Monday.
Open, close.
They don't say 4 to. They say hours.
Hours of business, right, Brent? Hours of business. When those hours don't fall into the hours of business, then the business is now closed. It is no longer a business. It is just a vacant, empty building.
We're way late on a break. That was supposed to be like a 3-minute segment. Here we go. Turned into a big TED Talk. And now Robert wants me to interview waiters and waitresses and get their thoughts on the topic. Seems like we could have our...
I mean, I don't know.
Seems like this could be a good
I don't know,
podcast.
Man. I mean, here I thought we're doing well with our youth, and obviously our youth doesn't have it. I don't know. It's been a rough day for me.
I mean, your beard still looks good.
Beard looks fantastic.
There's a lot of... I don't know why it's so rough. We're talking about a beard.
I'm just trying to help the service industry, and you guys are just making their lives more difficult. That's a shame. By the way, shout out to somebody says, how about Nick at noon? I'm not mad at that.
Nick at noon isn't bad.
But then it's noontime and stuff. We're going to stick with Nick in the day right now until further notice.
We'll be back on the Brent Austen Show. More football talk about things going on there at the sports complex and Jags headquarters. They'll be out on the field here very soon for rookie minicamp and then, of course, OTAs. It's a new logo, new branding, but with Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. And with that comes the perks we miss in the big business world. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained and they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. The folks at Bold City Heating and Air also know your AC unit is important and can be a big expense. That's why they have financing to help. No payments, no interest for 12 months on new systems. $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown. Bold City Heating and Air.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part, they did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
In Northeast Florida, we love hanging out on the back patio, maybe grilling out lunch or dinner with the family, enjoying the good weather, or maybe enjoying the big game on the TV. Or maybe your favorite team in town, the Action Sports Jax team. This is great, except for when it's really hot or the bugs start coming out. But what if you didn't have to worry about that? Titan Outdoor Solutions will make your outdoor area a comfortable spot any time of the day, any time of the year. This makes too much sense. Titan Outdoor Solutions can give your home an upgrade. Customized pergolas, awnings, controlled shade, even retractable screens. The solution to beating the heat and the bugs and getting more use out of your home is Titan Outdoor Solutions. And this can even help prevent storm damage at your home. Living in Florida and living in your home is already good. Now make it great. Quality products, custom work, locally owned and operated. Visit TitanShuttersAndScreens.com or call 904-484-7580.
Hey everyone, Olivia Tasley here from Action Sports Jax to tell you all the different ways you can watch our new 24/7 network. 3 easy steps. You don't even need a pen and paper to write it down. Step number 1, download the app. Search Action News Jax in your app store, either on your phone or your smart TV. Then, once you're on the app, click on that little drop-down menu in the upper left-hand corner with the 3 little lines. That'll show you these options, and boom, right here, click Action Sports Jax 24/7, and you will be brought to our continuous stream channel. That app can be accessed through all these different platforms, whether you have Roku, Fire TV, Smart TV, Apple TV, or Google TV. You can find our app. Now, if you don't have access to the app, don't worry, we still got you covered. We're across all social media platforms, from Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, Twitch. We have a podcast channel. Plus, check out our short reels on our TikTok. Action Sports Jax 24/7. It's on all the time and everywhere.
It's the place we party in football season with Jaguars All Access.
Welcome to Spring Sports Brewery, everybody. Say hello to our guest tonight. That is Trevor Lawrence.
You can bring your party or event to Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield any day and any time. Rehearsal dinners, corporate events, birthdays. Here at Springs, you can enjoy the inside area and the outside area. Good for any weather, good for any occasion. Watch the games, play the games, shoot some hoops. Beer? Yeah, they have that. Plenty of choices. And sure, this is a brewery, but Strings is also a restaurant, and the food is fantastic. A full menu made from scratch meals. And if you need String Sports Brewery to help with a party at your place, they cater too. Family, beer, food, sports. Spring Sports Brewery in Springfield.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austin Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hey, don't forget about our Action Sports Jax Dream 18 card. Still getting people signed up and taking advantage. And if you like to play golf in this area, it's expensive right now. It's hard to get on. The Dream 18 card, quite frankly, is like the best deal in town out of any deal that exists in anything.
Nice.
Like it's nuts how good of a deal it is.
High praise. I like it.
So I'm not going to force you into getting it. We love, but if you do play golf or if you need a gift or something like that, maybe I'll get one for Steph for her birthday tomorrow.
Stop, man.
The $49, and you go to actionsportsjaxdream18.com. And, of course, it's for a good cause, too, our Dream 18 charities. We'll have our golf tournament coming up at Southampton in the fall. More news on that in the next couple of months.
I mean, she's probably not listening. Do you guys get each other gifts or not? Or
No.
do you just go, I respect that. That's cool.
I said, Steph, today, I said, Steph, you want something? Like, I got to get you something? She's like, she almost was like angry. Well, Steph doesn't really get that angry, but she was kind of mad. She was like,
Got you a real one there,
I wish
Brent.
people would stop asking me about my birthday.
Oh, really? Is it like, do you think it's an age thing or?
Nah, she don't
okay,
care
you just don't care. Don't want the attention.
I think everybody keeps saying, it's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
Yeah, a little bit.
But some people are like, hey, it's my birthday week. You know, it's my birthday month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just ask Olivia Tassley.
Oh, is she want
to? There's no way we're bringing that up without.
Face.
Yeah. I had the greatest exchange with Olivia Tassley like recently about birthdays. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Because it had to do with like a friend's birthday.
Okay.
And then it dug a little deeper, and it wasn't even really her friend, but it was her friend's like boyfriend or something.
Okay.
And
she
I was
wanted
like,
off work or something?
I don't know. I can't remember exact context, but probably. And I was like, Liv, we've taken this birthday stuff too far.
Yeah. Let's reel it back in a little bit.
We got to reel it back.
Yeah. And then listen, hey, I support the service workers. When it comes to birthday celebrations, chill out with that. Go ahead and chill out with that.
Like, I don't know why. I get it. I get certain birthdays. But I think this one was like a 35th birthday, and I told Liv, I was like, who the hell celebrates their 35th birthday? Nobody celebrates their 35th birthday.
No.
Like, I was celebrating my 33rd birthday just because it was a Larry Bird birthday.
I hear you.
But
I mean, I don't know. Like
some people celebrate 30.
Do insurance premiums go down at 35 or something? Like, what are you celebrating 35 for?
You can become president of the United States at 35. Who the hell wants to do that?
I'm all good. I'm all set there.
But
Yeah,
some
nothing to
people, man,
celebrate.
are birthday people. Like, and I try not to be like too rude about it, but I kind of am. But I'm just like, I don't get it. Like, that's one thing I don't get the birthday stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I get it if you're a kid. I get it at 21. I get it at 50. I get it at like there's milestones. I get that stuff.
Yeah.
Steph's dad just had her 90th. Like, that's cool.
Dang,
Like,
that's
good
really
stuff,
cool.
right?
Yeah, of course.
So, like Steph's gonna be 47. So am I.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean,
what the hell does that mean? You know what I think of when I think of 47? I think of like the T-shirt company. Because I like
there
their
you go.
shirts.
There you go, 47. Yeah. No, hey, I feel you, man.
Is that worth celebrating a birthday? No.
I like this, man. This has to be like, Brent and Austin after hours or something, man. Just kind of spitballing.
I do wonder, like 50, I can see why it's a milestone. But I'm not sure, like, I'll go anything crazy on 50. Like, I feel like I should do something for Steph on her 50th.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I...
How close are you to 50?
3 years.
Okay. Yeah, you got some time.
But, like, I have never in a day in my life thought of, man, I can't wait till I'm 50. I'm going to go here. Like, I've never thought about that in my life.
No, but it is a milestone, man. It's something to celebrate.
Yeah, I get it.
Like, hopefully, I mean, I know how you feel about it now, but hopefully when you're 50 or you're getting ready to turn 50, you encourage a cool celebration. I can come and crash it.
Robert says he's 52, always tips well. That don't make crap hourly. People don't make crap hourly. Robert, I really want to know where you went on your 50th birthday now.
Yeah, man.
Let us know. We're over the tipping and they're over the service department. Now we're on to the age and the birthday. Mm-hmm. All right, but people do like their birthday. If you like your birthday, all power to you. Like, that's cool. Like, I just can't get with you, but it's fine if you like it.
I mean, it's a reason to celebrate, but I feel like in this country we have a lot of reasons. Like we find a lot of, hey.
National whatever.
Well, we got Cinco de Mayo coming up. Brent, you ready for that one?
No, another one. I mean, come on.
I can't wait to go to the beach bars and telling people, hey, what is Cinco de Mayo even about?
I told Kaylee the other day about my card story. Like, I was like, you can't go. Don't go buy a card. It's a waste of money.
Yeah.
And she was very offended by that too. So people like cards. Go get cards. Fine. How much do cards cost now?
Oh, here we go again. I mean, like $4 or $5, Brent. It'd be
No,
okay.
they're
What do you
more
mean?
than that.
Okay, I think I spent like $4 on a card one time.
You got a bad card.
Well, yeah, I mean, 'cause I like to write something in it, personal.
Yeah, if
You don't write that. I don't,
If you
I
get a
don't
real
believe in
card, like
writing.
if you get like a good looking card, that thing's got to cost you like $8.95.
Good looking card.
You know, like one of those heavy suckers, like made out of the good cardboard, good paper stock.
Yeah, I got you, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we want to get back to some football.
What do you want to talk about? Jake's had an awful draft, according to Football Friends. So let's go back
We're
into
all
that
over the
again.
place.
Here we
I
go.
did have a good.
Yeah.
I had a topic I want to get into, and that's the Jags receivers.
Okay.
Did you ever find this, Nick? Nick at noon? Nick in the daytime? No,
I
it's
mean,
okay.
I do like Nick at noon. I really do.
It's okay. You got time, Nick. Don't worry about it. We can stall until we get it because I'll set this conversation up.
Okay.
The Jags receivers the way they are right now, and I'm going to put Ingram in this, but I know not all the time you can put Ingram in. You're not going to put every tight end that played for the Jags in it. But I do think the Jags, when you have a 110 catch guy, right, that acts a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So the word I'm going to use is dynamic. You can use your own word. Different might be it. Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas Jr., Christian Kirk, Evan Ingram.
Okay.
Is that the most dynamic the Jags have been at their receiving core ever? Is that the most dynamic they've been since Jimmy and Keenan?
I mean, do you throw Travis Etienne in there as well if you throw Evan Ingram?
I don't. I'm
or
gonna
not?
keep
You don't
that
want
off.
to keep. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
keep the,
Okay.
That becomes more of a weapon story.
Okay.
But what I'm asking is like, because the thing that I still love about what they did with Brian Thomas Jr., I think if you look at Gabe Davis, is the fact that they've got the ability to now stretch the field. They've got different body types. They can run block. They can crisp route run guys.
Yeah.
Ingram's a totally different player than maybe anybody they've ever had in Jaguars franchise history. So how dynamic are they from a receiving standpoint, meaning how tough are they to defend, and how much do they open up a playbook to do things that Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence want to do?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the NFL now and what the receiving cores look like, you know, it's changed a little bit since, you know, even I played, where it was like, all right, you got your one, and then you got your two, and you know. But like nowadays, and I think the Rams kind of usher this in. There's a lot of teams that have done this. I mean, you have your 1A, your 1B, and sometimes even your 1C. And yeah, is Evan Ingram a one wide receiver? Absolutely not. But he's definitely a top receiver on this team. So in terms of being dynamic, you have the big playability of Gabe Davis. You have the slot ability, and Christian Kirk, one of the best slot receivers, I would say, in the NFL. You have Brian Thomas, who obviously we don't know what we're getting with him yet, but one would assume a bigger-bodied guy, a red zone target, a red zone bully, hopefully. And then you have a guy in Evan Ingram who is a reception monster. So to answer your question, Brent, and once again, we're including Evan Ingram here because this list doesn't have the tight ends. Yeah. But if we are including Evan Ingram, then yeah, I think you have probably the most diverse group of wide receivers that you've had in a very, very long time.
Yeah, because prior to this was a good wide receiving group. Marvin Jones, DJ Chark, Laviska Shenault. The best one since I've been here would have been from a production standpoint. This is courtesy of John Shipley, by the way. But the one that is Allen Robinson, Marquise Lee, and Allen Hurns. They made up like the most productive.
Sure.
And also dynamic. Because Allen was different than the other Allen. It's different than Marquise Lee.
Well, and here's the sad thing, though, too. Back in 2021, I thought this was going to be by far the biggest, most dynamic receiver class, just because, like, Laviska, we felt was going to be like Debo.
Yeah.
Right? And then you had DJ
Debo
Chark,
Light.
who had, Debo Light, and then you had DJ Chark, who, showed all the promise in the world, and an experience like Marvin Jones, who can give you those big plays. Like, I thought 2021 was going to be the year.
Yeah.
And then
on paper, actually, that 21 group, again, this is the way we're talking. I don't know if these guys are going to be good. Like, I don't know what the production's going to be. I think it's two different conversations. Like, what does it look like when you throw it out there on the field, you match up? I think you're right. Like, you could make the case that 2021 was as dynamic of a group that you could throw out on the field based on what we thought. I mean, we had a bingo card going on ESPN 690 for Laviska Shenault.
That's right, Laviska bingo. I forgot about that.
DJ got off to a good start, had the speed and stuff. Some of the traits, actually, of a guy like Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah. Yep.
Marvin was obviously a veteran guy, had done it before, but he, too, could be explosive when need be. So It's pretty interesting. I guess what I like about this group, because Marvin was older and Chark and Chenault were so much younger, that you have Kirk, the old guy's just 27, going to be 28. Gabe is 26. So these guys have experience, but they're not long in the tooth. They're in their prime. Yeah. And then you have the youngster and Brian Thomas Jr. that you can start to project. And I think you're right. You still have to add Evan in here. Now, you can add Evan to last year because, again, on paper, Kirk, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram looks really, really good. Mm-hmm. Problem is they just couldn't stay on the field together, especially with Zay Jones injuries. But you didn't have that in 21 and beyond because of the tight end. So Ingram really changes the dynamic of this offense that much when you throw him into the mix. The Jags have maybe never had a player like Evan Ingram in terms of the usage from the tight end spot.
It's eye-opening to me, though, and I keep going back to 21, just how much I thought that group was going to be special. Because I get with Marvin Jones, but keep in mind, Marvin Jones in 2020, then his last year in Detroit, was coming off of a 9-touchdown year. You know, he had 978 yards receiving, almost had 1,000 yards receiving. So, I'm like, okay, you add that, you add the young intrigue of a DJ Chark, then you add the versatility, the runs with bad intentions, just the monster in the weight room, Laviska Shenault. Like, there was a lot to like about that group, and just never materialized.
21 is such an interesting year because of the excitement of Trevor, but you got to remember there was actually some level of excitement for Urban Meyer too. I know in hindsight that's hard to admit. And then you do add some of the weapons that we thought they were putting around him. Mm-hmm. And this is where people are like, oh, you guys always blow so much smoke and say this. And listen, who the hell would have thought that 21 would have turned out the way it turned out? Sure. You could be the most negative person in the world and nobody would have predicted that garbage from Urban Meyer. So there was plenty of reason to be excited in 21, not just the Trevor. Bud Etienne added to this mix. But the more and more you investigate this and you say, hey, the Jags have a lot of different things. Kirk is the best. Is Kirk the best slot guy that's played in Jacksonville?
Whew. Yeah, I mean, that I can remember. Yeah.
Again, in my tenure, I think it's easy to come by. This isn't a hard thing to fill out. This is an easy box to check. Yeah. I mean, you're really comparing the trio, like I said, of Hearns, Lee, and Robinson. That's the most successful group. I mean, Mike Thomas had some nice times here, but he's not level with these guys at all. And now Gabe Davis and Brian Thomas are the big threat guys. They haven't had big threat guys since Jimmy and Keenan to this degree.
Correct.
So... And then the Ingram part. But the more you, again, just to finish my thought there, the more you investigate here, the more you realize how important Ingram is to this whole thing.
Who was the tight end back in 21 for the Jaguars? Let me put you on the spot. I can look it up too, but.
Was that O'Shaughnessy? No, O'Shaughnessy, would he still been here? Nah, he wouldn't have been here, I don't think, still. They drafted Farrell, but I thought they had, Manhertz and Farrell.
That's right, Manhertz. Yeah. And never got used like we wanted to see him get used.
First touchdown pass ever by Trevor Lawrence, though. Trivia question.
Manhertz, okay. Dan Arnold.
Well, Arnold they ended up trading for in the season.
Okay,
they brought him over too. Gotcha. And then those guys were still there, I think, in 22.
You had Manhertz, O'Shaughnessy, then I guess they brought in Arnold later.
Again, in this kind of conversation, Ingram becomes such an important part, a valuable part, and maybe that's the key. You think in all these different receivers and what they have and their skill set, and we're talking about how dynamic they are, but really what makes them as dynamic as they are, and maybe the offense as dynamic as it is, compared to others that have existed in Jacksonville, is the unusual and good traits of a guy like Ingram. I mean, it's so important because he sets you apart. Again, maybe not from the rest of the league. I think he does in a little bit from the rest of the league, but there are other good tight ends that also set other offenses apart. I'm talking about from a Jacksonville situation. Ingram is as unique as come here in Jacksonville and as productive as they've been. I mean, he set records from the franchise spot in each of the first 2 seasons he's been here, which also shows you what is needed in a Doug Peterson offense and what is asked of the tight end in the Doug Peterson offense. But I think it also maybe accentuates the receiving core of the Jags even more. What Kirk can do, what he does, what a guy like Gabe Davis might have the ability to do, and what we hope a guy like Brian Thomas does, I think is kind of punctuated by the fact that, you got Evan Ingram too.
Yeah, I mean, I think Evan Ingram was really the shining spot that helped Trevor Lawrence out a lot because it seems like, in terms of Trevor Lawrence, there wasn't a lot of dependable guys, it seemed like, on this receiving core last year. There's drop balls, there was penalties, there was false starts and everything. It seemed like Evan Ingram, and I distinctly remember a ball going off his hands getting intercepted, but for the most part, Evan Ingram's probably the most consistent thing out of these receivers last year. And I think when you look at the top tight ends in the NFL, when you look at your George Kittles, your Hockenson, healthy, but who's the guy from Sam Laporta, Travis Kelce?
Laporta, yeah.
What do they all do? They're the top tight ends in the league, and guess what? They also elevate their quarterback, it seems like.
Yeah.
Now, you can have top wide receivers. You can have Devontae Adams. You can have Tyreek Hill. You can have all these guys, but do they necessarily elevate the quarterback position? Sometimes they do. In Las Vegas, probably not. Like, did Darren Waller elevate Daniel Jones this year?
Didn't seem to.
So when you do have a tight end who's a little bit of a unicorn, who's a top 5 guy, yeah, that helps your quarterback out a lot. So the Jaguars are very lucky to have an Evan Ingram. Now, if you go more of a 12 package this year and you bring in Brent Strange, hopefully he can contribute as well. Now you got something else to worry about.
Yeah, can you make that dynamic? Is that one of the other things that we're going to see? We're talking a long ball. That's how this offense might look a little different. Do they do more of that 12 personnel stuff where you get Brenton Strange in there as well? And maybe that's a new dynamic to the offense too. Maybe it is a little bit more dual running back with a Bigsby and an ETN. Who knows? Maybe some of those things. I'm curious because Trevor's the one that said it. It's going to look a little different, like we've evolved it. What does that mean? I think it can mean various things for this team. But I'll say it again. The Evan Ingram find and the Evan Ingram signing is as important to this offense maybe as, just about anybody that's come on board because the way he extends what they look like and what he does to a defense, and therefore helps the other guys go beat people maybe one-on-one, or Doug Peterson be able to scheme up to beat a defense using Evan Ingram as a little bit of that decoy along the way. And way more than a decoy when he had 100-plus catches and it set record the last couple of seasons. All right, let's take a break, man. We come back, we will take it until 1 o'clock. We will replay today, by the way, Cup Date with Stuart Weber, a week with Action Sports Jax at 1:30 with Olivia Tassiley, and also, no gate fees at 2 o'clock as we get ready for district championship games around baseball and softball. That's all coming up on the Action Sports Jax network. You can find it on actionnewsjax.com and the Action News Jax app. Everyone loves a good game night. Here you don't have to be the host. You don't have to clean up. They bring the food and drinks to you. And you can watch whatever you want on the big screens. It's more than a card room. It's a night full of fun with friends. Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park. And now the newest location here in St. Augustine, right off 95 at exit 311. A brand new clean room. A full bar and menu. My favorite sushi in town. And I love the fries too. You don't have to just play poker at Best Bet. That's why I come over here to the table games and play one card poker. That's a pretty good card and a win. One card poker is like war as a kid. You against the dealer. And this isn't the only fun table game to play. A friendly staff, a lot of fun. It's a good night out at Best Bet Jacksonville, Orange Park, and the newest location in St. Augustine. You can be a serious player or a novice. It doesn't matter. If winning equals fun, you're a winner every time at Best Bet. I'll save you a seat, and I'll see you down here at Best Bet St. Augustine.
Do you have ugly concrete around your home or business? Are you tired of concrete that is cracked, stained, or just plain ugly? Spartan Coatings' range of products provides a surface that is non-porous, easy to clean, antibacterial, and slip-resistant, all with superior durability.
Living in Florida nearly my whole life, I know the toll our weather can take on a garage floor. That's why I had Matt and the crew from Spartan Coatings transform this space. And the best part, they did it in one day.
It was a professional process from step one. The polyurea and polyaspartic system provides superior flexibility, is 4 times stronger than epoxy coatings, and will withstand temperatures high and low. Plus, it comes with a 20-year warranty. Whether it's a garage floor, patio, pool deck, driveway, or your interior flooring, Spartan Coatings has you covered. To get started transforming your ugly concrete surfaces, call 904-671-3930 or visit SpartanCoatings.com today for your free quote.
I like to say everybody has a story, and sometimes we're a part of other people's stories. That's the case here at Nimnik Buick GMC. my family, and the Nimnick family. We've purchased 6 different vehicles from Nimnick Buick GMC. Maybe you're in the market for a truck. Well, let me tell you about the GMC Sierra. I absolutely love mine. I've had a couple of these. This one's a 2020, but right now on 2024 GMC Sierras here at Nimnick Buick GMC, there's special financing. A year ago, we purchased a GMC Terrain for the kids. Financing rates as low as 0.9% for eligible buyers on Terrains and no payments for 90 days. Looking for used instead of new? Buy a used car with the Car Bravo program. Nimnick Buick GMC certifies all makes and models. Let the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville take care of you and your family. Come on out and see the showroom, meet the fantastic people, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com. Nimnick, your friends in the car business since 1941. GMC, we are professional grade.
Thank you for making Action News Jax the best in Jax and Folio's Best of Jax 2023. Best TV station, best TV newscast, best TV morning show. Chandler Morgan voted best TV anchor. The Chief, Mike Burrish, voted best meteorologist. And Brent Martineau voted best TV sports anchor. And while you're on the go, best news website and best local blog, the Burrish blog. Thank you for making Action News Jax local coverage you can count on.
It's a new logo, new branding, but with Bold City Heating and Air, it's an old school approach. One of the few locally owned and operated air conditioning businesses left in Jacksonville. And with that comes the perks we miss in the big business world. It's every customer counts kind of service, from when these trucks have pulled up to my home over the last couple of years and when they pull into your driveway as well. From communication to pricing to the actual service, everyone at Bold City Heating and Air cares about you. You know who's coming to your house. You know they will be well trained. And they will respect your home. Air conditioning convenience at boldcityac.com. The folks at Bold City Heating and Air also know your AC unit is important and can be a big expense. That's why they have financing to help. No payments, no interest for 12 months on new systems. $50 off any repairs. Stay safe, stay comfortable with Bold City Heating and Air at boldcityac.com. Homegrown in your hometown. Bold City Heating and Air.
When you think sports, you think Action Sports Jax, the official station of the Jaguars, on location for every game. But the most experienced team in town doesn't stop there. From high school football to the big events in the area, Action Sports Jax is always on. Now, we take that to a new level. Action Sports Jax 24/7 is around-the-clock coverage of the teams you love and the moments you can't miss. The best local sports in Jacksonville on Action Sports Jax 24/7.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
All right, so did you see this story about Marvin Harrison Jr.? The deal is he's not signed. I guess what happens, you know this better than me. I don't pay attention to the jersey stuff, but they sign with, like, the NFLPA has them, all these guys. I don't know if it's every player, or is it just the first round guys or whoever's popular or whatever, sign like a licensing agreement for their jersey. And I think that license agreement is with Fanatics because that's who's involved with the NFL. Well, Harrison hasn't signed it. And I guess it's a bit of a beef right now. And I don't know when he's going to sign it or if he's going to sign it, but the story, or at least the background story, is that he had a beef with Fanatics like a couple of years back, and that's why he's holding out on it.
Yeah. He has beef from his college days, this article is saying here.
Which is also kind of interesting because until recently you couldn't have a beef with Fanatics in your college days legally.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
I actually think this could end up turning out to be like genius, though. Because he's going to create like a supply and demand for it whenever it does happen. There are no jerseys out there to buy for Marvin Harrison Jr., so the Cardinals fans can't buy it.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to almost increase this.
So,
oh, man, when it does come out, when it is available, whenever that time is, whatever agreement gets reached, then they're going to flood to get him just in case something else goes wrong.
So according to this article, there was an offer made to Marvin Harrison whenever he was a sophomore in college, which has happened to a lot of guys, where if you sign an autograph deal, it's for 4 years. Marvin Harrison, who doesn't need the money, said, we're not taking the deal. So allegedly that's what's happening behind the scenes is beef between Fanatics and the Marvin Harrison camp. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
This is according to the article.
But I think it actually could come up roses for him.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we're talking about it.
Well,
we're getting eyes on it, you know?
Again, yeah. I think I'm interested to see how it plays out, because then if it plays out in a positive way, could it?
Oh, it's going to have a trickle down effect.
That could be a domino effect.
But of course, absolutely.
How does that work? Do you remember any of that stuff, jersey wise? Did you have to sign something?
No, I mean, I didn't sign. I'm a 5th round pick, so I think it was different.
Well, I know, but
me.
is there a delineation? Is it?
I mean, I assume there's a delineation. Yeah, I mean, what I remember was my shoe deal. So I was going to sign with Under Armour.
Okay.
Because they offered me more money, but then I just didn't like their cleats. It was the first year Under Armour cleats came out. I wasn't a fan of them. So then I went with Nike, and I took less money from Nike, but the shoe fit me. So that was kind of my only contract I had. So I got a bunch of free Nike stuff. I have so many Jordan shoes in my closet I've never even brushed off because I don't care,
Well, the Nike stuff. So when we went out for that jersey in Oregon and the new Jags jersey, that was at the Nike facility, and they had a store there. And the cool thing about that store is it was the store, so it was 50% off. I legitimately bought a putter.
Yeah.
Because it was half off.
Yeah.
But Justin Blackmon was out there, and he had money to spend. And Scobie had this over the years, and others players get money, right?
A lot of players have this thing.
These deals. But I mean, I didn't really know that much about it at the time. I think, and hopefully not out of turn here speaking, but I think the Justin Blackmon deal, I think he had mentioned it was he had $10,000 to spend with Nike.
Oh yeah, I want to say I had 12.
Really?
Yeah. So per year.
That's nuts.
Yeah, and if you don't use it, you lose it.
You lose it.
So
you just buying everybody's gifts?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I didn't. My friends got so ticked off me because they had Nike golf clubs on this website. So basically, you have a website you go to, right? You type in your name and everything that comes up. So I bought a bunch of Jordans that, like I said, I have never worn, and then they had golf clubs. And my friend's dude, get us some golf clubs. I'm I don't want golf clubs. And you're going to lose your money. I'm yeah. And now in retrospect, yeah, I should have got the golf clubs, obviously. But at that time, when you're making rookie minimum, you're not really worried about a couple $1,000s for Nike golf clubs, for free. So I didn't really care. But yeah, in retrospect, probably should have got
That was a good amount of money spent.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're getting shoes and stuff, but out of that money, would you also get your cleats and things like that? Or does that come from the team?
No, that's separate. So the cleats was all paid for through the team.
It is. Okay.
Right? So I had a Nike deal, and then through the team, they gave me whatever shoes I wanted.
Wow.
Right? And so we had the custom colors and everything too that you could get. Eventually, I voided my Nike contract because when I had my Liz Frank injury, I think I told the story before, but I had my Liz Frank injury, and in doing so, I still played the season on it, and I had to have a special tape job in my foot. Took 30 minutes to tape up my foot every single game, every single practice. I'd have to leave Joe Cohen's meeting room early to do this. Joe was pissed, but it was literally the only I had to do it.
Yeah.
So I'd get this special tape job done. Well, in the game time, it's in my contract where I can't cover up the Nike's logo. So then I said, okay, well, it's for an injury. I have a Liz Frank. Either I play with this tape job covering up the logo, or I'm not playing at all. And they said, that's fine, but then don't tape up your other shoe. And I said, well, I'm not going to call it spat, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to spat one shoe and not spat the other, because now it's one foot's 10 pounds, one foot's not. So it just feels different. And I'm no, but then what I did was one game, so I spatted both my feet up. I drew a Nike logo on it, and they're no, you can't do that. So then I got into it with the regional representative that comes in our locker room and makes sure we're all good. I go, you guys preach player performance and on the field play, and you're not going to let me spat both my cleats, therefore taking away from my player performance? Are you guys hypocrites or what? That rubbed him the wrong way. He got in with my agent. Needless to say, Nike's not paying the bills anymore. So yeah. So then I had to get let go of Nike, and then that was the whole thing.
You killed the Nike deal.
I killed the Nike deal.
Bigger thing is if you had a 5-figure deal with Nike and didn't get us anything, I'm more pissed about that. I would have used all $12,000, man.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's only so many polo shirts and rugby shirts you can buy from Nike, man. Yeah.
Now you can go get Tigers Sunday Red instead.
Now you're talking.
Sign on with him.
Want that though? Yeah.
Hey, there's some interesting headlines. We don't usually do this, but I just kind of clicked on it and saw this. Justin Fields floated as Steelers returner.
Stop. Who's floating this? Is this that guy from Twitter again that's trying to get back to?
No, this is an ESPN article.
Okay.
This is running back Jalen Warren said Smith suggested that Fields, whom the Steelers acquired in March, could return kickoffs with the rule changing, preventing players from moving until the returner touches the ball. And that's Smith, by the way, is Danny Smith, the special teams coordinator.
Okay.
So, again, this new kickoff rule is going to add some interesting wrinkles, like who you put back there and stuff. That one, can you do that to a guy who's playing quarterback?
No, you cannot.
I mean, they did it in Pittsburgh with Antoine Randall.
Okay, but you're going to justify your backup quarterback who might be your starter one day taking kick returns?
But is it a compliment or a criticism? Because hey, we want to get you on the field. We think you're dynamic.
Yeah, they brought him to be a quarterback. Okay, like if I'm Mike Tomlin, listen, man, Russell Wilson, we know what we're getting with him. Okay, maybe there's an injury. The last thing I want to do as bringing a new guy in our organization is to put him as a returner, and keep in mind this guy's been hurt before as well. So put him in risk of getting hurt because, well, we need a couple, like 3 or 4 good runs out of a kickoff return. There's no way. There's other guys out there to do that.
Well, you got to take everything you can with a grain of salt with this Warren guy anyway, because he also said Arthur Smith, he's really impressed with him as a play caller and offensive coordinator. So.
Go ask Kyle Pitts, my fantasy team, how that worked out for him last year.
A couple other headlines here. Tyson underdog against Jake Paul.
Yeah. I believe, yeah. He's old, man. Brent, I don't want to talk about this.
I can't envision Tyson as an underdog. I just don't.
People seem to forget the Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. event that took place 3 or 4 years ago and what that looked like. And also we're supposed to, what? Like it's Men in Black, just get it out of our minds?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Jake Paul's a big guy, though. We'll say that. He's big.
Yeah.
I don't know how big is he, but he looks big.
He's a big guy, Brent.
Especially looks big next to Tyson because Tyson's not really tall.
Yeah.
A lot of criticism right now for a coach that was getting a lot of flowers last year, and Deion Sanders in Colorado.
Have you been seeing the saga that's been going on with some of the guys that have been leaving? Yeah, not good. Not good.
Yeah, it's a little over the top by Deion, right?
I mean, I don't want to throw the word petty around, but just let those guys go. Okay, it's a transfer portal. Like guys are going to leave. Like this is the way college football is now. Don't take it so personal. Don't call everybody out on Twitter, and then don't go back and forth with those said players on Twitter.
How do you view it though? Like, is this Deion doesn't know how to take adversity? Is this Deion being soft? Is this Deion not being very coach-like? Because Deion has these moments, man, where I'm like, hey, man, I believe that's great stuff. That's good stuff. And then all of a sudden he'll do things like this. Is it just out of the norm? So it's abrasive to us?
No.
Or is it bad?
No. Okay. What makes Deion so great could also eventually lead to Deion's downfall. What makes Deion so great right now is that he has this gift to speak for the modern football player, to relate to the modern football player, right? Whether it's social media, style, coaching, like he gets it. Look at his recruiting classes. It's Colorado, okay? He obviously gets it. They're getting the players in there. But the catch-22 of that, the double side of that sword is, well, sometimes then with this youth, when you make a decision that you don't agree with, well, then you try to clap back on somebody on Twitter or on social media. And that's what's happening right now. So, I mean, we'll see if it's going to be a downfall or not. It's not a good look in my opinion. But once again, I'm not going to fault a guy who you can't have it both ways. You can't like the Deion has a swag on the sidelines, that's getting all these guys in, that's changing Colorado, but then hate the fact of, okay, well, now he's like going with some player who left in the transfer portal. Like, you have to have both things. So I understand it. Now, I don't agree with Deion calling these players out and his son not making things easier as well, calling people out on Twitter, but that's the way that it goes. And once again, it's the modern, relatable coach, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. It's an interesting thing. You do wonder if it's a downfall. They weren't very good last year at the end of the day. They started off strong, but it's almost like this was like a 15 minutes of fame deal with Colorado, it feels like right now. I feel like it's going to be a mess.
Well, and imagine Colorado was like the talk of the town for the first 3 or 4 weeks. First month in college football.
I mean, here in Jacksonville,
Everywhere.
the ratings were unbelievable.
It was everywhere. That's fine. You had your time in the sun, and okay, it takes a while to turn things around. This year, though, if you're not competing for a title in your division,
Yeah,
I feel like how do you handle that adversity?
I'm conflicted on Deion because, again, there are a lot of things I liked about the Deion story. I really do, and I've never been a huge Deion guy. He seems like a very me guy. But the more you heard from him, the more you listened, the more what he was doing, it was like, this guy might be perfect time and place. It might be great. And so, again, am I all on board the Deion train? No. Am I always critical of it? No. I think you can take a little bit of both sides, but this does feel like, all right, this had a chance to be really good, and now it might be a complete disaster.
Yeah.
And it might turn out to be a disaster. And so much so that I start to wonder, okay, this was a guy, is he going to end up at Florida State someday, or is he the next guy to go to the NFL, to now is he a guy that says, all right, that was cool. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going back to NFL Network or someone like that and making a bunch of money. Yeah. Is he just hanging around for his kid, and going to get him through that part? But I don't like the kid part of it either. I get the family stuff, but dude, stay out of that. I'm not sure if I like that if I'm an NFL team.
I mean, listen, it's Shador. Yeah. Shador.
Who could be a high pick. I don't know if he's, I don't know how high. At one time, it was like, he's going to be a really, really high pick. And then the rest of the season happened.
Yeah. Listen, and you know how I feel about players on Twitter, and I'm definitely old school when it comes to that. I'm definitely get off my lawn. But if you are a highly touted, hopeful draft pick, the last thing I would be doing is going back and forth with your ex-teammates who decide to leave in a transfer portal and talking smack to them.
As a leader
of your team.
Right?
Because I do think teams look at that are trying to draft you.
Yeah, I think that's going to hurt them a little bit. Stuff like that.
You know what? It ain't going to help.
Yeah, you can't just do and say whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Deion's name is big. Like that. You're going to be fine, but it's not always going to work out in your favor. Again, this NFL thing is a different world. Like you're going to people are red flag that, no doubt. So it's pretty wild. How about one other one from the headline list? Because I think this is kind of fun. Did you see? The Sixers and Knicks are playing when they played in Philadelphia 2 games ago. I think it was. There were so many Knicks fans.
No, yeah, man, big brand.
I mean, if that happens in Jacksonville, everybody's making fun of Jacksonville. In Philadelphia, of all places, Knicks fans bought them up. Now, it's not far from New York to Philly, but Philly's Philly. And
yeah,
it was amazing. And so I guess the Phillies owner is blocking them out.
Yeah.
And buying tickets up.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of listen, the Knicks haven't had a season like this in a while where you feel like they can actually go to the final.
No, they're exciting.
I mean, there's been playoff, teams before, but it's even okay, we'll get bounced out for a second round. This Knicks team, Brent, they're different.
How out of the blue is Brunson? I get it if you're a Knicks fan, but in terms of how much he had 47 or something the other night.
Of course, man. Yeah, guy's good.
That kind of, I don't know, was that brewing?
I mean, was it brewing? He's been around for got drafted back in 2018. So been around for a while. But I mean, sometimes it takes
really
players
fun
time
player
to
watch.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say okay, I saw it come when he got drafted out of Villanova. Absolutely not. I mean, listen, the guy went in the second round, Brent. Okay, so
second round guys don't even make it on the team a lot.
Exactly. So I don't think anybody foresaw what Jalen Brunson was going to do. But I mean, it's even more reason why to celebrate it now because hey, the guy's doing his thing. And by the way, they have 3 Villanova Wildcats now on that team on the Knicks, which is pretty crazy too.
All right, so here's the deal. Here's Brunson's career. He was in Dallas.
Yeah.
For 4 years.
What year? 18, 19?
18-19 was his rookie year.
Okay.
So at 9.5 points a game, 8 points a game, 12.6 points a game, 16 points a game. He gets to New York and 24 points a game and now 28.7 points a game.
There you go.
I mean, it's really incredible. Guys go to New York and then flop.
Yes.
He's elevated.
DiVincenzo's been playing really well from the Bucks. The Bucks had him. They let him. They're a gritty team and a fun team to watch.
Can you think of a player that's gone to New York and just elevated their career. What you try to, most of the time, I'm not talking about just basketball, Yankees, Mets, whatever. And it's like, now you might go get a high profile athlete and he does well. But somebody who's like, you hit a new gear in New York, that's so uncommon. You usually lose a gear in New York.
You really do. I mean, I know there's people out there, but I can't think of anything right now. Yeah, I got nothing.
I'm going to think about it a little bit more heading into tomorrow.
Yeah,
I just think it's pretty wild that he's been able to do it. There's some guys that just can't handle New York. Like, I think Soto's going to be fine in New York for the Yankees, but there are other guys that just can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
And this dude at the Garden is lighting it up.
Yeah.
47 a playoff game. Fun to watch, too.
Really fun to watch, man. Like I said, I'm not accustomed to seeing the Knicks like become a dominant team in the NBA because like we had Patrick Ewing like early on in my childhood, but besides that, there's been a lot to cheer about.
Yeah, the one other thing about this for him too, is usually you'll see a player hit a new level maybe at year 3. This is year 6. So that's a late bloomer here. Now, he was good last year.
NBA is different.
So
but I feel like NBA you need a little bit more sometimes.
But anyway, all right. Hey, kind of a fun show today. Beards, heels,
restaurants,
waiters. Mm-hmm. Yesterday was bees.
Tomorrow we got brunch.
Best bet, St. Augustine. Come on down. 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. If you show up a little bit after 10, that's fine.
Now it's till 1, not staying till 1:30. All right, we're locking up shop at 1.
We are serving brunch only until 1.
Till 1.
We want you out. No, the Best Bet does not want you out of the building.
No. But we ain't going to be there. All
right. Free stuff tomorrow. Prizes, giveaways, $250 gift baskets. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hope you can join us tomorrow at Best Bet St. Augustine. Lunch on or brunch on Austin. We'll see you with the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network tomorrow.